I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fam's on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the result. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while sizzling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's #1 Chief Rock Knicks Universe. Main man, Uncle Freezie in the building. Welcome to the Knicks at Night podcast. Y'all want this party started right. Y'all want this party started expeditiously, right? Get that energy up, Knicks fans. Let's go. Let's go. The mothership is back. Every time I think about the Knicks at Night podcast, man, the first thing I think about is Parliament and Funkadelic, the mothership connection. So we probably gonna be here with an all-star panel ready to rock and roll. You know what I'm saying? Talk that Knicks talk the way that y'all like to have that talk to y'all. Got my guys backstage. They rocking ready. They ready to go. Bully in the building. Coach is in the building. The son of the legend, Kerry Cox, is in the building. DSJ is in the building. Pastor J is in the building. Salute, adios. What's good? What's good? What's good? Get that energy up. No, with no further ado, right? I'm gonna sit in the analyst spot tonight, right? What we're gonna do is tag team it with three of us. We're gonna tag team it. So you're gonna see the moderation thing is gonna switch hands tonight, right? So Cowboy Bob is gonna moderate tonight and ask those questions to get us involved, and then he is gonna pass it off to the big Paisan coach Malpica, so that coach can close the show. And I'm gonna just sit on the side, man, and we're just gonna rock and roll, man. I'm excited about this all-star panel. Let me bring up my guy first. Cowboy Bob is in the building.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Thank you for having me.
What's good, man? Let me. I'm gonna put you in the catbird seat. Bam. Okay. Cowboy Bob is in the catbird seat, right? Moderating.
Thank you.
Let me bring up my guy. You know what? I should bring up my guy with the.
I'm ready.
I didn't download it though. Dang it. I didn't download it. So, but now bring up our guy, Coach. Coach, what's good, man?
I put in all that work, and you didn't have it queued up.
Yeah, we got time, bro. We got time. I promise, we got time.
This guy.
Yeah. Yo, man. BT, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm trying to stay calm, man, because the questions I have pertain to both the last two games, actually. So I kind of want to see what Coach has to say first before we start, rocking and rolling. So, Coach, y'all got anything to say before we start?
Well, I'm sure a lot of people have already started talking about it. The refs. This guy right here, Ed Malloy. Look him up. Send him some hate. He needs it. Nah, in a game where we had a disparity of 33 free throws for the Houston Rockets, the young, no star having Rockets who got all the calls tonight, it seemed like. But we should never let it got to that, if you ask me. We should have never let them hang around. I know it's tough to fight shorthanded against a team of 5 guys plus 3 refs, but so be it. We were shorthanded enough, and it was bad enough. We were playing 5 against 8. The humanity. With that being said, man, I wish I could have that first half back. I tell you that. We just came out horribly. We dug a hole we couldn't get out of, and we are sure missing those big guys. I tell you that. iHeart, Juju, OG. But I'm sure a lot of people are going to talk about Coach Tibbs played too many minutes. Blah, blah, blah. Who's he got left to play? That's all I got to say. My mind's all over the place. I had a vent. I just had a vent. As you can see my name tonight, I'm a salted pretzel. Extra
Hey,
salt.
that's why, Coach. I didn't interrupt you. I let you rock. I was
Appreciate
gonna
it.
say a whole bunch of stuff, but that's why we getting it out now.
I needed that.
Freezy, you next on the mic, Uncle.
Thank you. And just one more thing real quick before Freezy starts. I'm sorry. I wasn't going to come on tonight. Freezy sent me a message. I'm like, no, I can't. I'm too pissed. It's not going to be a good broadcast. I'm going to be too salty. But I knew you brothers here and my Knicks fans, I needed you to talk me off the ledge. It's going to be all right. The troops are coming back. All right. My bad. Thank you.
It's on you, Uncle. You got anything?
I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to, man, listen, man. I'm not happy about the loss or the way we lost. Right. I'm not happy about that. I'm not excited about a few things that I saw. Pass the ball. Can we pass the ball? Can we do that? Can we pass the ball? Can we do that some? Can we share that ball some more? You know, when I watched the game, I don't know, I can't remember which one. Yeah, I was listen, I text so many of y'all during the games, bro. It's almost like I can't even watch the game no more, right? I got my head in the phone, right? But for those of y'all that you know what I'm saying don't like Julius Randle, this is what the world looks like without Julius Randle tonight.
And
right? This is what the world looked like without Randle. You know what I'm saying? And for those of you that think, man, we should trade Randle, we need to get Randle body language, all that stuff. As small as that team was tonight, Julius Randle would have had 35 and 17 rebounds.
We don't need to re-sign iHeart.
This Randle is a monster, bro. You don't make the All-Star team for nothing. When your backcourt, our starting backcourt was 16 for 33. I'm sorry, not 16 for 33. Our backcourt was 19 for 46. And 7 for 20 from 3. And it's going to be nights like this, right? Nights like this, I wish that raindrops would fall. Fall. You remember that? If anybody remember that from the 5 Heartbeats?
Nights
but anyway,
like this, I wish.
All right, so
that's all I got, Cowboy Bob. I ain't got nothing else. I'm here for the jokes tonight, bro. I'm here for the comedy.
All right, well, I got my little take real quick before we get into it. I saw something in Houston that I actually was admired because the way that they play is similar to what we play, but we have vets, they have young guys. What do I mean? Your next guy mentality, the way they play defense, the way they switched on with Brooks, they used three different guys on Brunson. There's a lot of things we can get into, but I liked how Houston's playing. They're more of a one team away. I mean, one player away from winning a championship than we are. And I'm going to get into it with this. Given what we have with injuries, guys, do you
What?
guys think that
What?
Tibbs? No,
What
no,
did I
no, no.
just
Hold
hear?
on, hold on. Just let me get into it because I want to get Tibbs out the way real quick because I know everybody's gonna hit Tibbs. Oh, Tibbs, Tibbs, Tibbs. Do you think with these injuries and the two players that we've just acquired, given the last two games, can he make the right adjustment with adding the 3 point game to our style of play? What you guys think?
I mean, we took plenty of threes. We just weren't making them at a good enough clip tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It was our kryptonite.
Kryptonite.
But do you see? Okay, the reason why I asked that is because if you looked at the Indianapolis game, it looked like the first game when we had Bogdanovich and we had Birkin. It looked like he just threw them out there and expected them to play because a lot of the shots that Dante was getting no longer was his own. It went to Bogdanovich. I understand it, but we could have used the system to where, like Dre, we spoke earlier on this panel, to where you could have used Dante in the beginning, first 5 minutes, take him off and run him with the second team, and have him create the offense for the second team.
Nah, because I was told that we didn't need a DeJounte Murray or another big time guard, right? That's what I was told. I was told we didn't need any help because we had Deuce McBride.
I
And
don't know who told
for
you
those
that,
that
but
don't know, in the Deuce McBride minutes, Houston got the lead, the lowly 23 win now. 23 win Houston Rockets, right? When Deuce McBride was on the floor, stretched the leads. They stretched their leads when Deuce was on the floor. The Houston Rockets without Fred VanVleet. But I was told by multiple Knicks fans on multiple occasions that nah, we good because we got Deuce.
and they also didn't have Torrey Easton as well.
We didn't have Tari Eason.
So even if we had Randall, the defense from Easton would have been on Dante DiVincenzo. You just, I'm sorry, Coach, you don't agree? So even if we were to have Randall, the Randall points,
I'm still shocked that you saying that Rockets are one player away.
Yeah, I was
because do
shocked.
you not see? Okay, do you not know why? Would you like me to get into it?
No.
No, not the
Okay,
Rockets, but maybe on the
I
Check
was
Paul
gonna say their
podcast we can talk
defense
about the
is ranked
Rockets.
sixth or
Like,
seventh.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean,
The Rockets are three referees away from winning the NBA championship.
they are they are burgers and fries away, maybe. Because their five guys wasn't good enough. They had to have five guys, burgers and fries tonight in order to beat us. But
Eight is
I'm
enough
here for the comedy.
to beat the Knicks tonight.
Okay, because I think that there's an issue with adding in the 3 points. Because like I said, we went from 32 to 36. We didn't incorporate our defense. We didn't really slow down the pace. We didn't get to the free throw lines in the last two games like we normally do. So for me, there's a lot that we have to incorporate with these two guys because they bring a lot of talent. That's why when we had the earlier discussion of, I was telling you, we need a guard to create floor spacing for Brunson and can score and facilitate. We need a wing, and we also need a center. That's my next question. What's up with the center position? We got Precious Achua starting at the four and backing up at the five with Sims. Do
Yeah,
you guys not see the need?
injuries. I mean, injuries, bro.
Yeah,
And there's nothing we can
I
do about
said
that.
this before.
Go
At the
ahead.
trade
Go ahead.
deadline, we needed a big guy
Yeah,
for the rotation too. Even if it was just a throw in,
yeah, and just
a body that has that number one isn't afraid to shoot a layup. Jericho Sims and someone that isn't friggin' ancient and just got pulled out of the hot tub because thought he was retired, and then we pull him in and expect him to start an NBA game. That's the only reason why I'm not more mad. I'm kind of trying to make light of this night because we're so undermanned. We literally have 3 players that can start on most teams out
Right.
right now.
Yeah.
So, and to be honest with you, this just shows how important iHeart is to our defense. Because even when Randall was out, we were winning these games with iHeart at least being there.
Yeah.
Now we got Achua playing out of position. And then we have, because of that, you have Josh Hart trying to play power forward, at 6'4", which, hey, he stepped it up tonight. He came to play.
Yeah.
He was doing some Josh Hart weird crap in the first half, but he turned it around. He was part of the reason we came back. And, Bogey's little 9-point run he had personally. The thing I like about Bogdanovich is he's heady enough to know when his shot's not falling. He tried to, drive to the rim and score, but it ain't going to happen overnight. This isn't even our team right now, guys. So I'm more pissed that this is a game we could have won and should have won, even undermanned. And these are the ones that
I'm with Coach on this one. I agree.
These are ones late in the season when we missed the 2 or 3 seed by a half game or a game. We go back and be like, damn, dude.
These are the ones that got away. Coach, you read my mind. My name is Uncle Freezie, and I approve that message.
Yeah, and for a team where 3 of your top 4 players are out, because let's face it, they are. The 3 that are out right now, statistically, analytically, are 3 of our 4 top players. And they're out.
Yeah.
So this bodes well for the next 8 guys, 6, 7, 8 guys. We were still competitive in most of these games we've been losing. Even being this undermanned. So
I was told we were deep.
We have 4 starters out if you count Mitch.
Yeah.
I know you can't start iHeart and Mitch at the same time, but they're both.
Yeah, but what you're saying is 4 starting level players, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
There aren't many NBA teams at all. If you would have told me at the beginning of the season, okay, guys, this is back when we had RJ and IQ and blah, 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 that we were going to be the 4 seed going into the All-Star break with 3 of our top 4 or 5 players out, and we're still sitting at the 4 seed at the All-Star break, I'd be like, hell yeah, sign me up.
Right.
As if he told me they were coming back, there wasn't like a season-ending injury. So I guess our expectations got real high real fast, and then these injuries had a different idea. They kind of had we have to curb our expectations.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's my own fault for being hopeful, and I still want to win every game no matter who's out there.
Right.
But I don't blame Tibbs. I don't really blame the refs, even though they missed a lot tonight. Just, but we can't afford to have that many guys not shoot well in one half in an NBA game and win. So,
BT, you mind if I jump in and throw some salt in some wounds?
Go ahead, because I was gonna finish it off, but go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro.
No, I was just gonna talk about the center position and with a Precious Achua at the 4 and the 5, and I actually give Tibbs credit for it because he was running a small ball system and was rotating. But the issue was Sims got into foul trouble early in the first quarter with 2, and so did Precious Achua. But Precious continued the game and was playing well with those fouls. So I give him credit with those adjustments that Tibbs was making as far as
really, Jericho Sims got in foul trouble early as a starting center. I've never seen that before. Wow. This is such unfamiliar territory.
But this is where I go and say that we are not a championship team because of that weakness. But to transition, I am going to give Precious Achua credit and Tibbs for making the adjustments, playing what they're playing, and Achua has been doing really well. Uncle, it's on you.
I'm not on mute.
No, I said
No,
it's
no,
on you. It's on you. Like you
Okay,
said, you
okay.
had something to say, so I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Oh yeah, yeah. My thing is I understand the sentiment. Hey man, Jericho Sims, and not to bash him. Y'all know how I feel. Y'all know I love Jericho Sims, and I think honestly, I think my man played pretty good. Foul trouble for an NBA center is gonna be one of those things you gotta be careful because you asked them to be the last line of defense, right? So foul trouble is one of those things that comes along with, right? But what doesn't come along with is letting non-shooter scorers be shooter scorers. I'm just gonna ask Coach a question real quick. It's rhetorical. Coach, who the hell is Dylan Brooks? Dylan Brooks is LeBron James now? We can't guard a non-scorer, defensive-minded guy? That would be the equivalent of Precious Achua scoring 30 points. Dylan Brooks,
that was some old losing dumb game stuff, old Knicks stuff I watched. Letting some bum beat you.
bro. I don't know what I was. I just don't know what I was looking at, right? Because we had the right scheme coming in, right? As soon as you saw Alperen Sengun get the ball in the post, you saw Dante shade towards him and force their non-shooters to make a play on the perimeter, right? So I felt like that was the move defensively, like force their non-shooters to make plays. But then when their non-shooters got the ball, we, yeah.
I
This right
mean,
here,
and like,
I gotta laugh, bro. I can't.
and Aaron Holiday was Derrick Rose, was
That,
MVP Derrick Rose for like 5 minutes.
yeah, and don't get me started about Alec Burks.
But see, I was gonna get into that, but real quick though, to stay on your point, as far as that, that's what I was talking about with the wing defender. We should have used Bogdanovich more, like him being first off the bench and seeing his size can actually close out on Brooks. Because I know you looking at me weird, but I'm just saying we could come up with different type of schemes to try to use it to see if it works or not. Because right now, like I've been saying, we're hurt. And we got to find these guys' strengths as they come onto the team to where we can use it when we're healthy. Now is the time to use these next 20 games. I know we're not expected to win all 20 or every single game that's remaining, but let's figure this out. Do the rotations like you did with Precious. Make sure that Dante still gets his shots, but incorporate how you use Brondanovich defensively. All I'm saying is he's just a closeout on the 3 pointer. I'm not saying he has to be there to fully contest it. Just close out on it. Rotate and help out a little bit more. Burke in the first game against Indianapolis, he looked like he was just ready to shoot. He was just going in and shooting. And he was doing it again tonight. It wasn't until the second half he kind of calmed down. But Burke, you know the system. You've been here before. You should have already stepped up in my head.
So what's your question?
No, that wasn't my question. I was just making a point about Burke. I was like, that's what it was. I was like, my fault. Because my question was, what do you think about Alec Burke? That's what it was about. That was the question. What do you think about Alec Burke? And I already answered it. So that's the question. What do you
So
guys
coach,
think
so
of
coach,
Alec
what you
Burke?
think about Alec Burks?
I mean, when he was here before, it was Randall in a dumpster fire. So now it's a little bit different to walk into, and he's got to find his role here, now, because he's not going to be counted. Because in the past, he remembers being one of the guys in the fourth quarter that were chucking them threes.
Fourth quarter Jordan is what we used to
Yeah,
call him. That was his nickname.
so we can try to come back because we're always losing, or. So he's just got to. It's that term, know your role, kind of thing. So him and Bogdanovich are. The thing is, what they're adjusting to now is going to be. This is why the All Star break is so important. Like, if you heard Bogdanovich after the first game's press conference, he said, during the All Star break, we're going to be able to learn some sets and blah, blah, blah. You know, because when you get traded like this,
Coach, I ain't gonna lie, that sound lame to me, bro.
it has nothing to do with
even when I
chemistry
saw
or
it, it
nothing.
was like even
Nah,
when I was listening to it, bro, it sounded like he was shooting gas, bro. He ain't have no answers. He just wanted to just say something to get people off his back.
nah. I'm sorry, I disagree.
Yeah,
That you
yeah.
can't tell me. I don't care how much of a pro you are. You don't
But
just walk onto a court with guys
but
that have been doing it together the whole. Like it's easy to do when you're a defensive player to just come in like OG did, and he's not. OG wasn't counted on scoring when he first came in. He just had to play some D and figure it out, and it just happened to roll and go well. Even Precious, at first, people were mumbling, "Oh, Precious kind of sucks." Then all of a sudden, 3 or 4 games, he got acclimated in 5 games, and now everyone's like, "Oh, Precious, what a steal!" You know. And now these guys are shooters. Offense is not as easy to just start and do right away when you got sets and guys that usually hold the ball. Like those two guys were counted on for the scoring at Detroit. Now here, like the offense was going through them at Detroit. Here they're readjusting to that. Now it's going to be different again when we get our 3 big front court guys back. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think it was a lame excuse, Coach.
All right.
Right. Yeah,
You don't
and
always have to agree.
the reason being is because I guarantee you and I can walk up to some kids right now that we hadn't even met and teach them how to run the football off center, off guard, and off tackle. Like you don't just reinvent the game. Tom Thibodeau's offense is not. It's not like you're walking into Steve Kerr's offense, bro. You know what I'm saying? There are some basic principles there that Tom Thibodeau wants you to do. And guys that are 32, 33 years old in the NBA that have been in the league 13, 14 years, you're not going to teach them new basketball. They've seen everything that has been, that you need to see from an NBA player. It's why they're here. You know what I'm saying? My thing with that excuse is if you were just out of rhythm, just like, yo, I'm just learning how to play with new guys, man. I'm just out of rhythm. I'd have been like, okay, that's understandable because you've never played with Jalen Brunson before. But to talk about learning new basketball over the All-Star break, first of all, we already know the All-Star break means break, right? So we already know that you're going to rest your body. You're not going to be in the gym during the All-Star break putting more miles on your legs and all that stuff. That's the reason why you get a break for the All-Star game.
Yeah, but you get the playbook and you look at the plays and look at film. Like they didn't get a chance to do that yet.
Right. Yeah, Coach, they got a chance to do that already, bro. They got a chance to do that, bro. It's
they missed
Tuesday,
the first game.
it's
After the
Tuesday
trade.
morning. They were traded here
Yeah.
Thursday afternoon. It's not like they just got a jersey and just went out there and played. They're being taught this stuff. They're being taught this stuff on the fly. And then plus, things may have a different name. Things may have a different name, but it's the same stuff, right? Like, I mean,
No, I'm not making that as an excuse why they didn't show up to play.
no,
I'm just talking about
that's not what
how,
I'm
as a
saying.
whole, like the whole team
I'm
gel
making
thing.
I'm making a separate individual point.
Okay.
That what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you is what they said to me was the gas. And I don't, as a Knicks fan, I don't want you to shoot me the gas. Just say you played bad. If you say you played bad, then I'd be like, okay. If he said I'm just trying to find my rhythm, but to say, yeah, I'm trying to learn the nuance of a Tom Thibodeau offense, and I'll do that during the All-Star break, that's laughable. That make everybody, even in the chat is like you got to learn Tom Thibodeau offense. That's like learning the Bill Parcells offense. Either you're going to run it off guard, off center, off tackle, and then if you mix it up, you'll do a toss to the outside. But I mean, you got to learn a Bill Parcells run game. I mean, come on, bro. I just wish they would just not shoot me the gas, man. Just be more straight up. BT, I'm sorry.
I just was gonna say I'm gonna jump on you too because these guys are both veterans. One played for us already, so Alec Burks shouldn't get any slack. I'm not saying he should come in and immediately
I'm
fix,
not giving
but
slack to the players though, so just don't say I was saying that. As I
no,
was,
not you. I'm just saying. So I'm covering my bases why I'm
yeah,
not giving him slack. I'm telling y'all why I'm not giving Alex Burks slack because he's been here before and he's a vet. Same thing with Bogdanovich. 1 year you didn't make the playoffs in your entire career. You should know some of these plays. You should know what you're doing. And I got to give him credit tonight because as opposed to the Indianapolis game, he was shooting mostly threes and trying to get incorporated by shooting. But this game, when he saw that he went 1 for 5, he started driving to the rack, getting to the foul line, and contributing in the fourth quarter, getting those late minute points. That's what I like to see. Even though he was struggling early, him and Brunson had a similar style to where they were finishing off strong. I want to see that more consistency between the two of them to where what we can do. I'm not saying that him and Brunson are the same, but I'm saying that they both figured it out after the first half and then started playing better in the fourth quarter. And yeah, it's against Houston, but those guys don't need time to just get incorporated and see the system. They should see the floor, see what it is, react and read, because that's what we have. And a lot of this stuff is fast reaction off of defensive rebounds. I'm sorry, it got quiet.
nah, I'm just taking it all in. I'm not questioning anything by the coaches or we're pros that miss shots we need to make tonight. And
Okay.
unfortunately, there was a little bit of that didn't help us that we can only get to the line 12 times. It's because part of it, yeah, maybe the refs missed a couple, but the other part is our in the paint scores besides Brunson, none of them are there. You know? So we weren't driving, you get fouls when you drive the lane. You play inside. We're
Except
jacking
on
up.
the last shot of the game when
Yeah.
except on the last shot of the game when the referees need the Knicks to lose.
I just
But
the thing about that for me is he did technically hit him, but well, first off, the first thing we got to say is Jalen Brunson. I appreciate your hustle, challenging, but the 35-foot heave that he was shooting sideways.
on a dude that don't necessarily knock down shots. I
Yeah.
mean,
Like, first of all, don't jump. That's the highest I've ever seen Jalen Brunson jump. You see how high that jumped on that in slow motion? Like, but if you ask me, Aaron Holiday's body was twisted and he put his knee out a little bit.
wait
You're
a
going to
minute.
call that thing that Dante did?
At halftime.
Yeah, exactly. That was like their kind of get back. And don't even get me started with Sangoon's 3.5 Euro step
where the ball got stuck,
stuck in the rim. Yeah. Drive.
he actually came down and then threw the ball.
Yeah, and then it was
He took
an
three
up and
steps,
down.
got stuck, and his right foot came down. And
Yeah,
he saw
before
the
he
ball.
shot it.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
I mean, and the possession before that, Dante DiVincenzo got raped. I'm sorry. Oh wait, I shouldn't say that word.
yeah, let's use a different one.
He got,
Yeah, YouTube already has me on a
sorry.
hit list.
Whoops.
YouTube already has me on a hit list. Like legit, the slightest thing. When I say shoot the ball, I get flagged.
He had hands. He had hands forced upon him without permission. I'll put it that way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the pause put on him. Yeah, the pause put on him.
Yeah. So, besides all that,
One more thing about Burke I didn't like. He shot 1 for 5, and all his 3-pointers from the 3-point line, all his 3-pointers were contested and him turning his body. Like, he did make the key 3 that we needed to bring us back, but To me, Burke, man, you should have got downhill. You hit two of your free throws. To me, I think Burke should be used as a downhill. The way everybody's like, oh, we should use quickly. We should use. Y'all keep using that type of style player, Burke. You should know the system already. You should be in that position. I'm not saying you have the speed it quickly or the IQ it quickly, but knowing the system, you should be able to take advantage of that and the experience as well. But a
Can I
lot
make
of
a
people are gonna be
suggestion?
like, "You wrong," but I think Burke has the potential to do it, but he has to be coached into it.
Can I make a suggestion also? I think Tom Thibodeau botched this up before the game started. And so I think starting Jericho Sims and Precious and Josh Hart at the same time, to me, was a big mistake. Right?
Agreed.
I think the mistake was made when you started Josh Hart instead of maybe
Bogdanovich.
starting Bogey or Alec Burks. Right? Or if you start Josh Hart, then bring Precious off the bench. Right? And then what that does is it puts you in those situations where when you get the Deuce McBride minutes, you also have a big and a shooter. So in the starting lineup, you have three shooters, a defender, and a big. And then in the bench unit with Deuce, you have shooters and bigs also, right? And I understand what everybody's gonna say, but they did play with Deuce, Uncle Freezie. No, I understand that these dudes played with Deuce, but what I'm saying is, it's one thing being a unit together, you know what I'm saying, and you saving your energy for a certain thing, playing in a certain role. But then there's another thing. By the time you get to Deuce, everybody is worn down, and then now you're depending on Deuce to be something other than what he could be. Now, with that said, right? With that said, this is to Wiz, right? Wiz, in these moments when we're down, your man Deuce has to step up. He's got to, bro. We're giving him these opportunities, like all these with people when people are out. When people are out, bro, Deuce has to step up and take the bull by the horns, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can't be passive, bro. Legit, their starting point guard was out, man. Look, yo, what do we do? I mean, come on, bro. I mean, really? You playing against a dude named Nate Williams? Aaron Holiday? Come on, bro. Deuce, you got to step up. And you my man, bro. Bro, cats not NBA players don't get this many opportunities to showcase what they have. Right? And I'm not putting all the pressure on Deuce. I'm not saying that Deuce is the reason why we lost. What I'm saying is, Deuce McBride, bro, you got to step up and take advantage of these opportunities, man. And as a matter of fact, I think Tibbs might have saw that he wasn't all the way there. That's why that man only played 5 minutes. That man played. I thought I didn't even coach. When I looked at the box score, I was like, dog, he played 5 minutes. It seemed like he only played 2.
And the thing is, people are complaining about granted it was Houston, but the last time I checked, the NBA average is pretty high. We held them to 105 points.
Yeah.
With our, I mean, and it took a Herculean effort, as I would say, Herculean effort by Dylan Brooks from the 3-point line to beat us still at the end.
We got to get these moments, bro. I don't know what's going on with Tibbs tonight and Deuce McBride minutes. But to me, if that role is reserved for Deuce, bro, Deuce has got to take the bull by the horns, bro. He's got to be assertive and aggressive, man. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, the 5 minutes thing is still frustrating. Because I honestly, keeping it a absolute stat when watching the game, it don't seem like Deuce McBride played that many minutes, bro. It seemed like that man played a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And I don't know what's going on with that. To me, that's frustrating. To me, it's absolutely frustrating that man only played that. But bro, In order for Tibbs to give you that quick of a hook, clearly something wasn't right. Clearly.
I think it's more to it than that because before we got Burke and we got Bogdanovich, Bogey, we actually seen McBride step up with hitting some key threes in previous games. But in the last two games, I think that them taking away some of his minutes to incorporate these two new guys shows that, like you said, Tibbs may say he's not all there yet. So it probably is messing with him because tonight his job was just to come out and play straight defense. He was supposed to be the guy to lock down what they were doing and help us out, but it wasn't working at all. So for me, McBride, I think he's just stuck. But again, why would they re-sign him out of all people? They see something in him. So maybe right now it ain't clicking and they're trying to figure it out. But I agree with you. I think
I get the maybe part. I want to talk to the maybe stuff in the personally. I want to talk about the maybe stuff in the offseason, right? When I'm saying tonight, in order for Tibbs, knowing that he is down that many players injured, for Tibbs to have a quick hook on Deuce McBride means either Tibbs has lost his mind or Deuce McBride wasn't showing Tibbs enough in that one minute and a half real time that he got to play. And I'm talking about real minutes, man. I ain't talking about no fringe, random. I'm talking about the real minutes he got to play. Clearly, Deuce didn't show Tibbs enough. Tibbs yanked Deuce out of the game.
I think he's.
I know the box score say he played 5 minutes. And y'all watch the game. Y'all know I'm right on this. Y'all know good and well. Y'all not gonna sit up here and say it felt like Deuce played 5 minutes. It felt like that man played 2 minutes, and Tibbs snatched him.
The thing is, besides all that, what Tibbs needed to do, he couldn't do because they weren't available. It's what's been the problem since iHeart's gone down. And he was like our last line of defense at the rim. Like, at least with some of these other guys out, I mean, insert any one of our front court players, and this doesn't happen. Because McBride can't cover anyone in the front court.
Right.
So he couldn't have helped us, even if he wanted him to play more minutes. You can't expect Bogdanovich to cover power forwards in this league. If you're counting on that,
he ain't gonna guard nobody, bro. First of all,
he ain't guard nobody, let alone power forwards.
Let's keep it a thing. But you know what though? At 35 years old, 34 years, however, you already know when you get a wing scorer off the bench, you're not looking for them to provide you with elite defense. You're looking for them to get buckets, right? Coach, traditionally, these guys, these you remember Sarunas Marciulionis from Golden State?
Of course.
Yeah, he was in the backcourt when Golden State's backcourt was Tim Hardaway, John Starks, Mitch Richmond, Sarunas Marciulionis. Y'all remember that? When they used to just run and grind teams to death. You know what I'm saying? Marciulionis, they was like, yo, but Marciulionis don't play D. He was like, so what? I get buckets. That's what Bogdanovich is.
Marciulionis would just sprint up and down the court. All the time too.
Yeah. And Cowboy Bob, I understand where you're going with the questioning, but my point is how does a team that does not have depth snatch a guy out of the game for playing 90 seconds, 2 minutes of meaningful basketball, bro?
It's because a coach relies on his veterans.
Dante DiVincenzo was hurt now, right?
What coach doesn't?
But what I'm saying is he was trying to see Bogdanovich and Burke. He was using his veterans more. I honestly see that because the last two games, look at how he's been using those guys. I'm telling you, he's trying to figure out.
There's no one left to use. Like, this is what gets me. Like, anyone that's blaming any of this on Tibbs just don't know basketball. Like, I don't care if Red Auerbach was here, John Wooden, Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, all had a baby.
Popovich.
Made the best coach. Yeah, Popovich, the best coach ever. Ain't gonna coach this up. Period.
Daly.
What do you mean ain't gonna coach this up? Pop is the perfect example of coaching this up. Look at how he used to Look at how he used to treat
Pop
his
would have
top.
sat everybody for the rest of the All-Star break.
Yeah, and coach would
But
have sent
then
everybody
here's
to
the
the strength
thing
of
though.
call.
Here's the thing that y'all also forget. Yes, Pops did rest his starters like two and a half quarters in, like, hey, you guys are gonna rest. But what he did was he built up his bench to where when later on down the road, when he needed those guys to step up in playoffs, they did and they were available. Yes, Tim Duncan could have won plenty more awards had he played more games. But if you look, he relied on his bench. I'm not saying it works with everybody, but having a system to where you can rely on your bench and allow them to come in and allow your guys to be healthy and play throughout the playoffs is a good thing. We have that, but we're not using our guys to incorporate into the system to score, to pass, to facilitate because everybody's all over the place right now.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Tim
I
Duncan averaged 39 minutes a game, 40 minutes a game, 39 minutes a game during their playoff runs. I'm
But how
looking
many
at
games did he finish off the season? Like 68, 72?
the lowest he had after playing 1, 2, 3,
and
4,
I
5,
mean, I'm
6,
saying, what
7,
does it
8,
matter though? What's
9,
the
10,
point that we
11,
getting at?
12, 13,
No,
14.
the point
His
was
15th year in the league was the first time he dipped below 76. He went down to 58.
my point was the fact.
So
The point is that you have guys that you can rest up. Like right now, where we have Randall out, we have OG out. We need to rely on our bench to where that they can hold it down, learn the system enough to where when these guys come back, we actually can be better. That's what I'm talking about as far as what I learned from Pop.
would the
Pop style
Spurs
of
teams win these games if Duncan, Robinson, and Parker were out or Ginobili?
no, they wouldn't be winning a majority of the games, but the bench would have been well enough to where they would still be in contention. That's all I'm asking. I'm not. We added offense with Bogdanovic's 20 and Burks 15. That's 35 for the bench. But what I'm saying is where's the defense? Where's the rebounding? Where's the team spirit that we
They're
had before?
injured.
Exactly. So then now what we need is really not another scorer or another guard. We need someone to help us with those issues that we are missing right now
I
with
know,
injury.
but they didn't sign these two guys just to hold us over. Okay, these guys were picked up because they're going to help us when those three guys come back. These guys aren't meant to help carry a team to wins. They didn't do it for Detroit, that's for sure.
Right.
So these two were signed for the main reason to be sparks off the bench when our the top dogs come back. Okay, that's what they were meant for. They weren't signed to hold us over until Randall gets back, or they were signed because they're two guys that've got playoff experience and they're veterans, and those are the kind of guys you need in the playoffs. Especially coming off the bench,
Yeah.
that a lot of times can create their own shots.
What I'm asking is, what did Thibodeau see in Alec Burks that Miles McBride couldn't give you, right? And on top of that, why didn't Miles McBride step up? If I'm Miles McBride, there's no way I'm allowing Alec Burks to come in here and take my minutes.
You already saw that happen to Grimes with Dante.
See, that's what. See, Coach. Now you see why I'm frustrated, right?
We don't even know if Dante's really hurt. And you think that's Tibbs' fault? Come on, man.
Yeah, and yeah, players are going to get hurt during the
That's
season,
just their
bro.
freak accidents. This whole Dante DiVincenzo, this is the most mileage he's had.
But Coach, how
Totally
hurt is
talking
he?
about that. I was saying how Dante came in this year and beat Grimes for the starting position. I was saying Grimes can look at it. I mean, McBride can look at his situation as that as well,
Yeah.
where he's fighting for a position and Alec Burks can come in and push him out. That's what I was referring to.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. I
He has
don't.
a
I do think the situation is different though. In the Grimes DiVincenzo thing, they both went to training camp, and you kind of saw the writing on the wall, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Where Dante was shooting the ball when he was in the starting when he got minutes, and Grimes just didn't shoot when he was in the starting lineup. He didn't present an offensive threat. And I'm not going to kick Grimes back in now that he's gone. What I'm saying is there two different players?
Okay.
Dante is a assertive two-way player, and Grimes is an assertive defender.
Okay.
But for Deuce and Alec Burks, and I'm not trying to put one player versus another because they're both Knicks. What I'm saying is that if you're Deuce with all these guys out, bro, with all these guys out, come on, Deuce, we rooting for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? This game right here is the type of game you want Deuce to start. Yo, even if Deuce McBride could have shot 2 for 14 tonight and been 0 of 11 from 3, and we'd have been like, yeah, Deuce, come on, be more aggressive. You know what I'm saying? And so I know that sounds like mad wild and OD, but if Deuce McBride is here to be that guy, bro, come on. We rooting for you, bro. We rooting for you, big fella. We want you to be successful as a Knick. I'm not rooting for one Knick against the other, right? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying though is in those minutes, and I know it's not fair because Deuce only played 5, coach. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I swear that man only played 90 seconds. But whatever he did in those 90 seconds, bro, he must have pissed Tibbs off, bro.
Well, the thing is, we're acting like Tibbs overplayed guys his favorites or whatever.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, I know. I'm getting to
That's
that point.
completely not what I'm saying.
I know. I'm getting to the point here in a second. What I'm answering your question. What I'm saying is, Burks only played 17 minutes. Okay. And one of the reasons why he played 17 minutes and the reason why McBride didn't go in either, the whole third quarter, he didn't sub anybody.
Yeah.
And that's what got us back in the game. No one was complaining about Tibbs when we came back to get within 2 because he left all 5 of the starters in, or whoever started the third quarter. He left them in the whole third quarter because we're coming back. And then all of a sudden, in the fourth quarter, he had to put who was scoring out there, and I don't know, man. He just didn't feel McBride was cutting the mustard. I don't know.
But
Hey,
but
coach, can you send me that file in the MP3 format?
It was an MP3.
Nah, it's not recognizable.
I was gonna say this to
Yeah,
Coach.
I've been trying for hours, bro.
I was gonna say this to Uncle's point. Look at Josh Hart. I mean, earlier in the season, I know I was yelling, "Stop shooting these threes, or if you're gonna take them, knock them down." Tonight, I seen him take 4 threes, and 3 of them he made, and 1 of them he missed. I was impressed. Like, yeah, he was aggressive, and he knocked them down. That's what we're expecting from McBride as well. Like, we're not expecting you to do it every single game, but if Hart can do it, come on, man. I just wanted to throw that in there.
All right. What's your question, though, bro?
No, I didn't have a question. I just was because you said you had something about McBride. You were talking about him stepping up, and I just wanted to add to that. That's all.
Yeah, we just we're rooting for Deuce, bro, and like what coach said, bro, a certain personnel grouping got hot and got us back got momentum based on these referees. And so Tibbs didn't sub him. He just played him. He just went with the hot hand. He just went with the hot hand, right? And so you can't fault a coach for that. But man, come on, Tibbs. You know we already shorthanded. And so are we Cowboy Bob, are we overreacting over a mid-February loss?
I think, to be honest with you, we should be worried, but overreacting, no, because I think we have enough time to make the adjustments. And again, like we said, when most of these guys come back, we'll know where we're at. But we could be worried because these guys exploited our defense. Look at how they were playing downhill the whole game in Houston.
If I may, just real quick, I just think what we probably should have did was play Josh Hart more minutes on ball gave Josh Hart the ball
Slow
and
down.
let Josh Hart cook.
Yeah.
Yo, yo,
I
yo.
think I'm missing a tooth. Unc just
What's
hit
up,
me with a
Dre?
cross. What up, Jay?
Hey, I resent you that. It says MP3 in the attachment, so
What
you
up,
know.
Cowboy Bob?
I
What up,
resent it
Freezy?
again.
Salute, salute, Coach. Salute to the chat.
he was Jay was like, salute, what's this dude's name tonight? Oh, salted
Gold.
extra salty?
Not the referee in the back kind of made me upset, but it wasn't that referee that made the call. It was some dude named Jason.
Yeah, but he's the head
Nah,
of the snake.
coach is saying this dude was the culprit all night though.
Oh yeah, he was terrible all night. Uh, I can I give my little synopsis, my little 2 cents since I joined in a little bit late.
I think you're gonna say Josh Hart needs the ball more. Josh Hart needs the ball more in his hands. Josh Hart needs to be
Nah,
more of a playmaker if
Missing
in those
another tooth.
situations where the backcourt's not really
Freezy
defending the
wants me to bust a vessel in my brain or something watching Josh Harder. Like you really you throwing a boulder in my shoe right now.
But he
But
has been playing well.
no, he had a terrible first half and he had a great second half.
yeah.
Duality of him. But I want to say like yeah, the refs were absolutely atrocious tonight. But there were a few things within our control that we could have done better. Uh, from the onset of the game, we should have never had three guys out there that can't shoot.
Yep.
You're just putting our star at a disadvantage. And at this point, when they're undermanned offensively, you have to be able to score more points than them. Like you're not gonna play this slog. They wanted to junk up the game. We had more talent than them, and we didn't utilize more talent until it was a little bit too late.
So you're saying so they beat us at our game.
Yeah,
Told
yeah,
you,
yeah.
downhill. That's what. Thank you, Dre.
We
That,
number
they played
one,
just the way we were supposed to. Continue, Dre. Sorry.
number one, like we should have. I'm gonna keep it real with you, Freezy. Our whole offense. I understand the point that Coach Malpica was making when he was saying like it takes some time to learn how to play with some guys, but there's also this aspect where in our offense we always need two guys that require gravity or respect. And while Dante has stepped up admirably, he hasn't garnered the respect of teams' defenses that like Bogdanovich has throughout his career. So in the starting lineup, you should have just thrown Bogey in there, run Precious at the five, and have Josh Hart out there doing the hustle stuff. And you could live with that in terms of having two guys that can create gravity and have attention put on them. It was just too much of a slog for Jalen Brunson. There were too many guys cheating off of their man just to hedge onto him, to trap him, to lean on him. And the Rockets played this game where it's like, we're going to play so physical that you can't call everything. And they got the benefit of the doubt, playing extremely physical when they were fouling Jalen Brunson, clear as day. But in those situations when they're hacking and whacking, he never had an outlet besides Dante. He would pass it to guys that would pass it right back to him, especially in the first half. So he was out there. What was he like 1 for 8 in the first half?
Yeah.
Eh, they let him basically they left him out to dry with that starting unit. And to the other point about Dante, Dante has like a tight hamstring. He was trying to get back in the game. I don't want to say like I'm not a minutes police guy, but if you want to play guys a ton of minutes, cool. But it's the way you play them a ton of minutes. Like he played Dante like 18 straight minutes out of halftime. Like you, like if you want to play him 42 minutes, then give him 3 minutes in between quarters.
Yeah.
Don't play him 16 straight minutes. Because if Dante didn't get the tight hammy or come out the game, he would have played 45 minutes tonight. He would have played the entire second half. That's not like it's February, bro. You can't do that.
Right.
And that right there is where you would have had maybe more Deuce minutes, Freezy, because we would have needed an extra guard. But he's committed to like running guys for extended stretches, and it's just like when other teams go to their bench unit, you can afford to buy 3-4 minutes to get your guy a breather, but they're not not every guy that gets 40 minutes is the same type of 40 minutes. It's like
Right.
Tibbs will have a normal rotation in the first half and then empty the tank the whole second half on a particular one or two guys. And that's when you have those injuries where you get a tight hamstring when he's playing 16 straight high intensity, very physical basketball, perimeter basketball, playing two ways. It's like you can understand why he had a tight hammy and he was trying to get back in the game. He had like the massager. He was on the bench with the massager trying to like massage his hamstring to get back in the game, but the training staff I guess said don't go back in.
Yeah, yeah. The go back in the game thing. We already know what that is, bro. We already know.
Yeah, we already that.
Yeah,
For
we
all
already
we
know
know, for all we
that
know,
he
that
about
hamstring is
Dante is
falling
out.
off the bone. For all
Dante is
we know.
out until after the All Star break.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where like yes, we understand. Like I don't even think Tibbs overplays guys too much, but the intervals, the times that he overplays guys, you can tell, you can feel it when he overplays guys. Like if you look in the box score, you'll say, "Oh, he had 38 minutes." That's not crazy. But then when you look at it and the actual rotation, you see a guy have like 18 straight minutes, and it's just
18
like, come
and
on,
not
man.
just that, not just because Drake, my thing, I get what you're saying, but my thing is it's not just those say 12 straight minutes, it's 12 high leverage minutes. Right? It's
Extremely
not like
physical basketball.
yeah, it's not like the Ryan Archie Diacono 6 minutes in a blowout,
It
right?
ain't, it, ain't, it ain't a
Six
YMCA
minutes.
run with us.
Huh?
It ain't a YMCA run.
Yeah, when you see Ryan Archie Diacono play 6 straight minutes, bro, you're like, yo, nah, man, this dude right here, you already know it's open gym when he plays.
Yeah.
But down the stretch of a one possession game, 6 minutes, bro, that's like a game 7. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I feel you, bro. I'm frustrated in the fact that Deuce didn't get more run and Deuce didn't command more run at the same time.
Yeah,
So it seems like I'm
he
throwing
can't.
Deuce under the bus. I'm not. I just
I
felt
understand.
like Deuce should have played more, but Deuce has got to command more, bro.
Like Deuce is not the reason we lost, but he needs to be a reason we win. Like
We
he has.
win. That's what I'm saying.
Like yeah, I don't want these aimless, like pointless minutes where he's just floating around, not being impactful, not imprinting any type of like. Bro, you out there for 5 minutes, you got 6 fouls, bro. Hack the shit out of somebody. Do
Somebody do
something.
something,
Or at
dog.
least do what Dante was doing when he kept interrupting those passes, knocking them out of bounds, trying to get the extra passes. Do something.
Yeah, I'm saying, but like, if you gave Dylan Brooks 10 minutes, he's using them 6 fouls.
Yep.
Like,
If you
he's
tell him
using,
before the game he playing 10 minutes, bro, he is gonna empty the tank. Bro, when he walk off at
33
9-7,
points.
bro, you gonna have to carry him off. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm not blaming Deuce. What I'm saying is, bro, you've been waiting for this moment for 3 years. All the kids that were in front of you that were playing in front of you are gone, right? And on top of that, the roster is injury decimated. So it's like a clear path for you to take the bull by the horns. And he played 5 minutes against a
he,
team
he
that we
wasn't
should have beat by
assertive.
20.
Team that
But
didn't
we
even
lost.
have their point guard. Like, they were running like Amen Thompson and like on ball rolls, and Jalen Green like chucking up nonsense. It's like at
Yeah.
that point, I think this is where I have like a problem with Tibbs. He values like quote unquote size a lot, and it kind of becomes to a detriment. Like that lineup that we started the game with, like I understand rebounding is important, but yo, like scoring the ball is also very important too. Like
Right.
like you this is why I was like, yo, if you don't want to put Bogey in, okay, put Alec Burks in. Like you
Yeah.
need someone to create artificial spacing for Brunson.
We
So
needed creamer in the coffee, bro.
Yeah.
like you having this man fighting for his life, and his wingman at this current juncture is someone that has never averaged 20 points in the NBA at any point.
They
I don't
had
think
three
he's ever
different.
averaged. I don't think he's ever averaged 15 points at any point in his
They
career.
had three different defenders on Brunson rotating. Two guys. The second Brooks was on him from jump. The second the ball would come in, as one of the two defenders in Thompson, or I forgot the other guy's name. Dang it! Oh man, I can't believe I forgot his name. Dang it! What is his name? I can't remember his name. But they'll come over.
Well,
Try to, huh?
what are you talking about, Dylan Brooks?
No, no, I know. I said Brooks would be immediately on
Oh,
Brunson,
okay,
and
yeah,
then you would have Thompson come in, and he would try to collapse Brunson. But then there's another defender that they would use
a
if
third
Thompson
man
would get hit.
collapsing,
Yeah,
like hedging off of, like they would have guys ignore Josh Hart in the corner.
yeah,
And Precious.
and
Yeah,
Precious, and as well. Yep, keep going, Dre. It's on you, my fault.
and that's like to that point. It's like a direct correlation as to why Brunson's 3 point number, 3 point percentage has gone down since Randall's been out. You need you need a guy to be out there like, okay, if they're gonna overreact to Brunson, Bogdanovich is perfectly capable. If you gave Bogdanovich 15 shots, he will get you 18 to 20 points, probably more.
Yeah.
And at some point, you can't you can't play this. I'm gonna try to muck up the game when you have more talent than the other team. You
Yeah.
had more offensive talent readily available to you than the other team. So even if you were to play Bogey, you could still have Josh Hart out there. Precious, I want to say Precious did a hell of a job defensively tonight.
Precious is my dog, bro.
I'm not. It's, it's gonna be looking kind of weird. Like who gets out of the rotation when we get three of our forwards slash centers back? Like,
Yeah.
and he's earned.
About four.
He's earned
Precious
every
is
last
our
minute.
fifth best player right now, bro.
Like his versatility on like he was stifling, and Sengun is a big boy. Sengun had to pull out all these extra steps just to get by him, and even then he still wasn't getting by him.
I like Sengun though.
He's baby Jokic. Like he's very good,
Yeah,
very very
he's
good,
crafty,
very
but he's
crafty.
stronger than what you think too.
Oh yeah, that's what I was like when I said he's a big boy. He's like he got tree trunks. You may
Yeah.
not realize it, but you're not dislodging him off the spot. Like if he misses, he misses. But if you play good defense, you play good defense. And Precious was sliding his feet immaculately. Like he was moving like a guard. Like it kind of is funny, Freezy, but we may have gotten some like two wing defenders out of that because Precious guards like a true wing, but he's very physical at the
Dre,
same time.
Dre, you not get ready to hit me with this point, bro.
No. I'm not
Dre,
saying. I'm not saying.
no, but hit me out though, because remember when I said this is what Jericho Sims should do?
He
Y'all
should.
laughed at me on the panel.
But Jericho Sims just doesn't have the IQ like that Precious currently has in terms of. You got to remember, Precious played
But
under
Dre,
two really good defensive coaches.
but Dre, remember
Before he
what
got
I
here.
was saying is we needed this type of player
Okay.
in
Yeah.
that role.
Yeah.
That's what I had been saying. That's why I had been saying the Jared Vanderbilt. I was saying Denny Avdija. We needed this big physical wing forward to go with an OG and Anunoby pairing so that we can guard Tatum and Brown. And when I said it back in November, I got laughed at. Cowboy Bob, you was one of them, bro. Trust me, I have an elephant memory.
And it
Hey,
may not.
Cowboy Bob,
It
everybody
may.
hold on.
but
I'm gonna say
now
this.
that we
You are
have
absolutely right,
Precious, I didn't
and I
know.
apologize.
I didn't know Precious Achua could do it, but Precious Achua is he's here and he's doing it, and one's mind can only imagine what it's going to be like when we get Precious Achua and OG Anunoby in a game together, healthy in the playoffs, playing against the Milwaukees of the world and the Philadelphias of the world and the Atlantas of the world and the Bostons of the world. Now what will we do with Randall? Of course, Randall's a monster. Randall is probably a top right now. Julius Randall is a top 25 New York Knick of all time, whether you like him or not. Because there have not been many New York Knicks that are 3-time All-Stars as a Knick.
The 2 All NBAs, there's not too many.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there have not been too many guys that have made the All-Star teams 3 times as a Knick.
How many
Yeah.
times did Allen used to make it? Once?
I think so.
Once?
I think so. And one could have and listen, chat, I know y'all don't want to have the conversation about who is a better Knick, Latrell Sprewell, Allen Houston, or Julius Randle. Right? I know we don't want to have that conversation. Maybe this is not the time or place, but Julius Randle's impact on the Knicks since he's been here has been one of the brighter points in Knicks history. There have been some dark moments, but for the most part, Randle's a stud. But on the Precious front, though, Coach, if we can get Precious Achua's perimeter defense, along with OG Anunoby, along with Dante, along with Deuce, along with Hartenstein, along with Mitch, once we get healthy, bro, I think we're a championship. We're beyond a championship contender, right? I think you could put us in the top 3 if everybody is healthy and playing like they've shown. My only thing though is that Alec Burks can't have nights like this, right? Where you're the veteran brought in to help the young player, and your impact was more negligible than the young player. So you can't play the young player or the vet.
I was gonna say, Freezy, it's one of those things where if you give Tips too many options, sometimes he picks the wrong ones. That's just it is what it is. Like if you give that man, there's a reason why he's so strict in his rotations and his regimen and what he thinks wins. Because once you start giving him too many options, every time we ran a 10-man rotation, it didn't work because he would have trouble picking the right buttons or pushing the right buttons. It would just it would just be a jumbled up mess. And
Sensory overload.
Coach, you're muted.
yeah,
I'm sorry, Drake. Coach was
I don't
saying.
think but it's one of those things where it's like when we get to the playoffs, you know that rotation getting cut down to 8. It ain't gonna be 9. It ain't gonna be 10. It's gonna get cut down to 8 because Brunson off the rip playing 40 minutes, Randall off the rip playing 40 minutes, Dante might get 30 minutes if he's continuously shooting like this. Off the rip, OG is playing 40 if he's healthy, and we're gonna get 48 minutes of rim protection. So that leaves how many minutes between Dante, Josh Hart, Alec Burks, Bogdanovich? Like that's 9 guys that I just named.
The thing
And I didn't
is,
even name Precious at that point. That's 10.
when them guys are healthy and playing, they won't need to play that much because we're going to have a lot more success.
In theory, coach, it sound nice, but nobody runs a 10-man rotation in the playoffs. Nobody.
No.
Well,
No
I'm not
team.
saying we're going to run 10, but we're going to run 8, 9-ish. And the 8-9 guy.
Well, if you're running 8-9-ish, hey, Alec Burks or Josh Hart, Bogdanovich, one of them's gonna have to be.
But no, what I'm saying is
Situational.
going to be situational,
Okay.
depending on who we're playing, what the situation is.
But this is the
know,
problem.
That
Tibbs has
8th,
his
9th, and
biases.
10th guy are going to be,
Hey,
But
bingo,
this is the
bingo,
problem.
coach, it worked.
But
Last one.
this is where it's like, yo, Tibbs has his biases. So that situational guy might be Josh Hart when you might need a Bogdanovich instead. And this is where I'm scared of what decisions he might make on a game to game basis. Like, not every coach has the ability to pick and choose the right buttons at every time. Like, I think out of his championship runs, the only coach I could think of that consistently picked like the right role player at a time was like Popovich in terms of who to pick out at a time for a rotation in the playoffs. And even he went 8-man, but he would have his 8th man would rotate between whoever he needed at that current moment, and not too many coaches can pick the right 8th man that's situational
Yeah, but
or if needed.
he hasn't had the luxury of what we're about to have. This is the first time the Tibbs and the Knicks have had this luxury of having this many players when they're
I'll
all
say,
healthy.
but he had the luxury tonight of not putting three non-shooters on the court at the same time to start a game,
Dude, if
and he still did
I
it. Like
just, I'm
I don't
sorry,
understand that.
you
I don't.
just
I agree with
the
you, Dre.
fact that you're picking apart our coach for what he could have done different tonight. If you think that that's the coach's fault tonight, then I'm sorry, Dre.
but but
Bro,
coach,
bro,
it
I'm gonna say
is.
this
Just don't
though.
agree.
Hold on, coach. Hold on, Cowboy Bob. The reason we struggled offensively in the first half, that's the reason we were down 14. The Rockets weren't putting up points. We had to come out of a hole because we had a terrible starting lineup that could not score.
No, it wasn't the starting lineup. It was Jalen Brunson. I'm sorry to say, our MVP candidate was only 2 of 11.
And
And,
if you
and
start,
and it's your job to make his job easier, not to make it harder. We made it harder putting three non-shooters on the court next to him. That's my whole point.
my point, real quick, Coach, before you respond, was we should have started Bogey because of that. Bogey would have helped him with the spreading the floor as well as his ability to shoot. He may not have had it in the beginning, but if we started him and then had Precious coming off the bench, like I said, with as in the minutes of Hart, it would have helped us out even more because now Precious wouldn't have been in foul trouble in the first quarter as quickly.
He's a
No,
legitimate three-level
I
scorer,
I
and that would have made
agree. He
Brunson's
could
life
have
easier.
started, but
I
that
think we scored 20
that might
points in
have
the first
helped.
quarter.
But
He averaged 20 points, yeah.
No.
Tibbs
I'm saying we
Tibbs
scored
has
20
been
points.
spoiled, and we as fans have been spoiled at the unbelievable run that Jalen Brunson's been on, and he actually showed he was human for a half. Okay, because if we had mid-level Jalen Brunson in the first half, that first half wouldn't happen.
But he showed he was human because he was on a court with three non-shooters. That like
Yeah.
a
Well,
lot
we
of
only
all
have 3 on the team.
hold on, a whole lot of all NBA players would look pedestrian when they have three non-shooters on the court. That's what. Matter of fact, I put it this way: no matter what injuries the Celtics occur over the course of the season, at no point will Jason Tatum be on the court with one other shooter ever. They could be missing Jalen Brown. They could be missing Porzingis. They could be missing. They could be missing three other starters. You know what they got on their bench? They still got spacing on their bench, and they will utilize it.
Yeah, we saw it. We saw it firsthand where one of their shooters would off, and they brought in Luke Cornett. They were like, "Yo, at no point are we gonna have non-shooters out here with Tatum and Brown, bro." And in today's NBA, where you value or old school NBA, where you value defense over scoring, where you would put 3 defenders on the floor and ask 2 guys to get a bucket, those days are gone. Most teams are going to put 3 shooters and 1 scorer on the floor with another scorer.
That
Right?
Allen Iverson
That's why
lineup
they ask
is
guys
not
to
going
be
to a
two-way
finals
guys.
ever again. Like Freezie, that Allen Iverson lineup when they went to the finals, that will never ever happen.
You will
again.
never.
Never.
Yo, the Detroit Pistons, Ben Wallace, Tayshaun Prince,
Brothers.
you'll never. Chauncey Billups, you're never going to see. Because I heard people
That
say,
team had more spacing than the team we had out tonight, Freezie. Because remember, Rashid shot the three, Chauncey shot the three.
Tayshaun Prince could shoot the 3, Rashid could shoot the 3. Chauncey was
Rip,
more.
Rip was a floor spacer, and not in the traditional, not in the today sense, but he was still a shooter.
Yeah,
So
mid-range
like,
assassin. Yeah,
it was one of those things where like I understand where you're like you got to lay off Tibbs, like he can't get everything right. But at a certain point, if you actually have the talent, like proven NBA talent, like guys you know can get 20 and like give you some gravity and lighten the load on Brunson, you got to opt for that. Like there's a reason why we didn't have too much trouble scoring down the stretch because you couldn't cheat off of the guys we had on the court with Brunson. You couldn't cheat. The reason why Brunson even got that jumper off in isolation was because you could not cheat because they were deathly afraid of giving up a three to like a help off the strong side or help off the weak side because they're 40% shooters out there on the court. And I'm not saying overload the team and have 4 spacers on the court. Brunson, Sheesh, at least give him two. Just give him two. Don't be out here with three guys that don't want to shoot.
Right. We out there with legit. We start the starting lineup featured three power forwards and
It just
Dante.
it didn't make sense to me. Like if you wanted to play like Alec Burks because he has more quote unquote familiarity with the system, sure, go for that because he can shoot or he presents spacing.
Okay,
But
so that's where I'm saying we have a conflict, right? That's why I have the conflict that so how on the one hand we say Alec Burks has familiarity, he was here before, and then
I
all
said
that
quote.
stuff,
I
and
said
then the
quote
other
unquote.
point is and the other point is that Alec Burks needs time to get accustomed to the new team.
It is one of
I,
those
I don't
things.
I don't I don't I don't understand that. I'm not throwing shade at coach. What I'm saying is I heard what that man had to say, bro. I'm just that's where I'm confused. Is he familiar or is he not?
I think the dynamic of the team when he was originally here, it was Julius Randle and a bunch of guys that weren't that good. Well, it was Julius Randle and a bunch of guys that couldn't really create their own shot. And then when he comes in on this team, most of the time, or some of the time, Jalen Brunson's on the court, Bogdanovich is on the court. Both of those guys can get their own bucket. So sometimes he's like jumping the gun in terms of creating his own shot when he shouldn't be that aggressive. When he has like comparable offensive talent on the court that isn't Julius Randle. So it's one of those things where like I get it, and I also think that Tibbs is telling him to just be aggressive. So it's I understand, and to coach's point, the different like when OG first got here, he cut way more often to the basket because he didn't necessarily have any plays drawn up for him. And then after a few weeks, you started seeing him get the pistol action that RJ used to get. You started seeing him in actions that RJ used to get to fill in that role in terms of being a guy that can be a battering ram, getting to the rim. It's not superly complex, but there are certain parts of like knowing your teammates' tendencies, knowing how guys like to relocate off of an offensive rebound or something like that. Like there's some trepidation and some awkwardness, but you also seen like at times tonight Bogdanovich had a few plays, simple plays that they ran for him that weren't too complicated. But there are like the nuanced parts where you're like learning your teammates' tendencies and not learning where certain guys like to be, or even the communication where it's
So
like,
you agree with coach then? On that part, I think all of us agree.
yeah, there's. I think both of you are right. That's
No,
the-
no, I don't want to be right though. What I want to do is ask the question. Like,
yeah,
in my opinion, 30-year-old, 30-plus-year-old wingmen, NBA players, you're not going to teach them basketball, bro.
true.
They already know how to play
And
because these dudes have been in the league 10 years. You're not in the league 10 years if you hadn't seen everything.
the only thing is different is terminology,
Terminology and team chemistry, basically.
and
How to play with the guys.
that's the thing that I harp on, like the team chemistry part. Because if you notice, like at times, especially when OG got here, he was cutting in the same places that Dante would cut at
Yeah.
the same time. Like, and that's not necessarily like knowing the playbook or any. Well, some of it is knowing the playbook because there are design cuts. But when things break down and you don't know tendencies of the guys that you're playing with, you play passively. It's kind of why like Bogdanovich in the first game was way much more of like a spot up shooter because he didn't want to step on toes or isolate. And you notice in this game they let him isolate or they cleared out the side for him a little bit more because he's an actual 3 level scorer.
Yeah.
And so what I was really referring to, and I'll repeat it again,
Go ahead, coach.
had nothing to do with them not figuring out how to play or what to do or blah blah blah.
Mhm.
It has everything to do with deferring to others.
Yep.
That's her thing. Okay, we've seen it with the Heatles when the Miami Heat got together. I'm not putting us on that level or nothing. I'm just saying like they had some struggles because they were all figuring out the hierarchy and who we're deferring to, the way the the balls brought up the court, who's flowing to where, who can I count on to be. If I'm dribbling towards the rim, I know so and so is going to be standing in this corner, and this guy's going to be standing in this. There's little deferments that happen. That does take time to know your role when it comes to that. So that's really all I was referring to. Because some guys don't want to step on each other's toes, and it'll affect your game a little bit when you do that.
Right.
It's happened with a lot of these teams that were super teams. I mean, even the Clippers this year, they had all them guys, these ex MVPs and stuff, and it took them a few games, and all of a sudden things started gelling. They figured out
They sent Westbrook to the bench.
yeah. I mean, they different guys are deferring to each other and all that. I mean, I look forward to this problem. Like, if we have guys that are good enough to try to defer to each other,
Yeah.
especially when Randall and OG come back and all that stuff. So,
Some of it is for the best. Like I think the increased role that Dante took on will help us get into the playoffs, where he'll be even more unnerved because he's used to high leverage and high responsibility because he's been taking some like high pressure shots over the last 10 to 15 games.
Right.
Instead of being the guy that's played off of, he's one of the guys, the feature guy. So I think that helps. It's going to be helpful. And Bogdanovich is a veteran that's been there and seen a ton in terms of being the second or third option offensively. He's already done that on playoff teams. So it's there's a learning curve.
and
that
don't
I
get it
understand.
twisted. I mean, anyone that was excited for them to come here thinking that they were going to take over for us, then
Yeah,
you were wrong with thinking what they would represent. Because we're not counting on Bogdanovich to play major minutes for us. Like, what they are, they're band-aids while I'm talking
Randall
about.
was out. OG was
Yeah,
out.
well,
but I'll say this.
I'm talking about
Oh,
their
go ahead, Coach.
band-aids when they come back. Like, the band-aids they are those 5 to 8 minute stretches that we need to give Randall or OG a rest, and we ain't just gonna fall off the cliff scoring with them in the
Or, hey,
game.
Coach, may I add in addition to that?
Mm-hmm.
When teams throw exotic defensive looks at us, right? Like how Miami threw the 3-2 zone at us and we
Mm-hmm.
couldn't get into offense. And when Miami trapped the edges out of a 3-2 zone and left one defender in the middle of the floor so that we wouldn't throw long passes across the floor. What Alec Burks and they do then is you take your big man off the floor, you take Mitch off the floor, and you bring in Bogey and Burks, and now you have a Randall at the 5 or Hartenstein at the 5 situation where you have a big that can come up high and dribble, pass, and shoot and make
Mm-hmm.
plays to others. There's a reason why you want to have a Bogey in you, because ultimately Bogey is the Cowboy Bob. Basically, what we've done, and I don't think people notice, is
Awesome.
we got got 2 Swiss Army knives, right? We got the Bogey, who, regardless what shooting scenario we're in, right? Regardless of which shooting scenario we're in, Bogey fits the bill, right?
Uh-huh.
Whether he creates his own 3, plays off ball, 2 passes away, you know what I'm saying? Spot up, relocating in the zone, regardless, Bogdanovich is the answer, right? Burks is they're shading, they want to trap. They got the ball out of Brunson's hands. You kick it to Burks. Now Burks can take his man off the dribble, and I don't know if y'all forgot, but if y'all remember, Alec Burks led the NBA, I think it was 2 years ago, and fouls at the 3-point line. Like, Alec Burks legit would get fouled at the 3-point line more than anybody. Cowboy Bobby, you remember that when he played point guard for us?
Mm-hmm.
When players, he has some type of move where he can get fouled at the 3-point line, like some type of, I don't know what it is, right?
He takes a lot of contested shots. So
Yeah, that too, yeah. But I think we got 2 Swiss Army knives. They're 2 different players, right? But I think what it does is, like Coach said, it's definitely for quality depth, right? But I think it's also great for offensive flexibility. Like for instance, if Bogdanovich was in that spot Josh Hart was in Game 6 against Miami,
We winning in 7.
yes, we're winning in 7, right? So,
And yeah,
so I agree with. I think what Coach said was a really smart take, Coach. I just wanted to add the flexibility it provides for a coach. You know what I'm saying? It's like when
yeah.
you have a tight end that can also play fullback, and so people are like, but they're the same type player. No, not really. Tight ends that can play fullback are not necessarily the same because George Kittle is not going to be a fullback, right? You don't expect that type, but
I wanted
Yeah,
to. I
what
wanted to
it's created also for us, hold on, Andre, real quick,
go ahead.
is instead of becoming a one or two dimensional team, now we can adjust to other styles
in real time,
in real time. It's
That's
not going to take like 2 or 3 games in the series to do it. And just like because we didn't have the whole platoon there, the Lakers did that whole little fourth quarter double team thing on Brunson. But you can't do that when you have Burks and Dante and Bojan, those kind of guys out on the
did you
perimeter,
see
and
any
even
of that,
Randall.
Coach?
So why don't you start the game with that then?
with Brogdanovic, exactly.
Well,
That's what we were saying.
okay, now we all know why he didn't start him.
But we're
But
saying
I'll ask
I
you this,
mean,
Coach.
it comes down to deferment and hierarchy of the team.
I'll ask you this though, Coach. How many coaches in the league would get a proven 20-point per game guy, right? Have a bunch of injuries in their front court and not start him?
Yeah, and then if we had Bogdanovich in the game, right, and Brunson goes 2 for 11, and we're only
Brunson wouldn't go
down.
2 for 11
No,
if you
can I
did.
listen,
just say
and
something?
then we're down 8 instead of 14 at the half. You guys are gonna complain. Oh, why do you have Bogey
But
started? His defense
If
sucks.
but if we were
coach,
down 8 instead of 14, we would have won the game.
but coach,
Maybe.
No, no, no,
coach,
no, 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 no. We would have won the game if we were down 8 instead of
But the
14.
thing is,
And
Jalen Brunson's misses weren't because he was getting
hold
so
on, Dre, hold on. Let
smothered.
me say something.
yes, they
He
were.
he just he those are shots he's been making. That's the
Wait,
part where I
hold
said
on.
Hold on,
we've been
hold on,
spoiled
hold
by
on,
Jalen Brunson's play, and
hold on.
Tibbs has been counting on him so
This
much
is this
because he's
this
been
is
showing up.
this is the thing
Don't
that
don't
you're
cut me
missing.
off. I'm in the middle of a point. Let me finish. I let you roll for a while. I was on mute for a while. Let me finish this point because I'm tired of people calling me an apologist and saying I'm making excuses and doing this and doing that. And all I'm saying is, I'm not saying Knicks fans are spoiled in general. We've sucked forever. We're not spoiled. We're dying over here. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, we've been spoiled this year with Brunson's efficiency and how much he stepped up. And he's like, Jesus, does he ever miss? He's been amazing. So one half he's not amazing, and this just shows how special he is and how important he is to our success.
Okay,
That's all.
coach.
That's all I'm saying.
Wait, Dre. Can I just say something
But
real
go
quick?
ahead. I'm done.
With Brogdon, all you have to do is run the same plays you do with Randall. Like as if Randall's on the court. Like those open threes that Randall was getting early in the season, Bogey can actually knock those down. Those similar plays that we were running, the pick and rolls and all of those stuff, we can use Bogey for that. So if we start him, as well as having Dante and having Brunson out there, that's crazy. Because now you got 3 guys who can shoot, rotate around the basket, as well as creating offensive floor spacing. And you can use that time now to where Bowie can get his legs under him to shoot, and Felton can. I mean, my fault. Burke can actually help McBride out
Did you
and
call him
actually show him
Felton?
what he needs to do off of the mid range.
That they're not, coach. This is the thing that you're kind of like omitting and that you might not have seen, but there's a reason why Brunson's like 3-point percentage has been dipping even like a
Oh,
lot
it's a
low,
troll. February, he's trash.
Yeah, he's taking more.
and that's because a lot of his threes were generated off of Randall. It was generated off of the gravity of a legitimate
Of
scorer.
course.
So when you're asking this guy to take a bunch of dribble, like pull up threes, and he's not efficient, if he was taking the same amount of pull up threes in the earlier part of the season, he wouldn't be shooting 45% from three.
And
Like it's
he's been
not.
shooting more forced ones too than he normally has because he feels the sense of urgency, like he's got to step up more or something. Like it
Which,
seems like
which
he's
is
forcing
why
more. Yeah.
you put a proven 20-point per game guy next to him. Like you don't have to, like you can like Dante is a good enough defender. Josh Hart is a good enough defender. Precious True is a good enough defender. You don't have to like shoehorn an extra non-shooter out there.
Hey,
You're
can
you,
can I can I
you're
ask
not
you
you're
something?
getting a diminished version of Brunson because you're like forcing him to be everything. You're forcing him to be forcing him to be the sun in the solar system. When there's more guys we have available that make it easier on him,
bro?
where he has gas in the tank for the fourth quarter
I think,
instead of like
but Dre,
emptying the
I
tank.
think Tibbs is telling them to do that because Dante DiVincenzo also has the greenest of all green lights from three right now, also, right?
Yeah.
And it's not a coach is right and Dre is wrong thing. I because I agree with what y'all are saying, right? What I'm saying is in case y'all hadn't noticed, Jalen Brunson is averaging about 27 shots a game in the month of
Jeez.
February. Coach,
Holy cow!
27 shots a game, bro, in February. Now, I know that number doesn't seem like it's obscene,
Oh yeah,
bro. Kobe Bryant would have told that dude to slow down on shooting, bro. 27 shots a game. And for the month of February, that man's shooting 19% from three. Jalen Brunson. That's worse.
that's
19%.
a RJ Barrett spell, but he's taking
Yeah, he's
hard
making RJ
shots.
Barrett look like Reggie Miller.
But he's taking
You know what I'm
hard
saying?
shots, man. It's hard.
And we all know the reason. We know the reason for it is because the team dynamic is different, right? Like all these role players that we have, they are great role players. They
Hmm.
are great role players. But man, when you take out a all-star and just have your first time all-star out there with a bunch of role players, it's gonna look like that. This is what the world looks like without Julius Randle.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, and before everybody say it's not just Julius Randle, OG Ananobi has only been hurt 2 weeks, right? He's been hurt 2 weeks, and even in that stretch, Jalen Brunson's numbers have plummeted, right? It's not just OG being out and Mitch being out and Hartenstein being hurt. It's directly there is a direct causation, right? His numbers are directly affected by Julius Randle not being there, right? And I know Jalen Brunson's a great player. He's great, but man, in the month of February, that man is averaging 26.8 shots per game. And as a matter of fact, I don't think ESPN even updated. It may be more than that.
he took
Yeah,
like
that man
27 a
took
night.
25. That man took 25 shots last night, man.
He
He
probably
took
should have took
25
more.
shots against Indiana. He took
Mm-mm.
21 shots against Memphis in a win, right? He took 31 shots in a loss against the Lakers, bro. He took 30 shots against Indiana on
The burner.
February 1st. And
But
and for the entire month of February, that man has only made 10 3-pointers. For the entire month of February, he's made 10 3-pointers, right? And he's taken 6, 12, 16. I'm sorry, 6, 12, 16, 21, 27. So he's 10 of 27 from three. That's bananas, bro.
10 and 27 is solid, actually.
Yeah, that's
Besides
19.
that
That's
one game,
19.
look what happened to Maxi after Embiid
I
left.
was gonna say, like, I don't. Tibbs is not gonna reinvent the wheel, and
Oh,
I
I'm
don't
sorry,
think
10
our
and
offense.
29, I think. Let me see.
Yeah, Tibbs is not gonna reinvent the wheel, and our offense isn't that
18. Yeah,
innovative.
10 and 27.
At some point, like, if you want to make up the difference, just put out someone like that can do a Julius Randle cosplay in terms of usage. Like, if you want a guy that can give you 3 level scoring or the appearance of it, and to lighten the burden off of Brunson offensively, we actually need that.
Man,
You put Bogdanovich in the game. Like,
I
I don't
wish there was
understand
a
him coming
guy
in
like
later.
maybe like that played for the Hawks that could have helped with
No.
that tonight.
Okay. Can,
Oh,
can,
there
can,
you,
can we get into
there
that,
you
please?
go.
1 second,
There
because
you
I'm
go.
about to
Why
break
is
it
it
down.
somebody
We wouldn't be
always
having
want to
this
throw a
conversation
third
if we had
punch
DeJounte
ball?
Murray.
If we played Bogdanovich more, we probably would have won this game. I'm not lying to you.
Thank you. Because I was about to say right now, because what Bogdanovich brings in height as far as shooting and also available to cut to the basket and pass out of a double team, he would be more contributing than Murray. Because as far as that,
No,
Murray,
no,
no, no,
I
hold on,
almost
hold on.
say
Let me
that.
finish. Let me
Hey,
finish my
y'all
point.
mind if I before we do that? Y'all mind if I just finish this one point? I just wanted to
Go
add
ahead,
just
go
one
ahead.
more thing.
Go ahead,
And in a replacement of Randall, right? Since Randall has been out, Dante DiVincenzo is averaging more shots per game than our all-star Julius Randle was averaging as a starter, right? Julius Randle was averaging 17, 18 shots a game, somewhere in there, 17.6, I think, or the number may have changed, right? But since Randle has been out, Dante DiVincenzo is averaging 22 shots a game,
Steven
right?
Chucko.
Yeah, and in the month of February, Dante DiVincenzo in 6 games, and this is just 6 games. In
40
six
minutes.
games, Dante DiVincenzo took 16 threes, 16 th- I'm just going to add up the number in real time: 16, 32, 41, 53,
That nine last.
62. Dante DiVincenzo has taken 76 three-pointers in February. 76.
In 7 games, I think. 7 games?
6 games.
6 games. That is like, and to that point, like Tibbs is like, we're gonna figure out how to get this usage up, but like, because we're gonna have to figure out how to get the production. And like, I'm not even mad at it because number one, we didn't have Alec Burks or Bogdanovich at the time, so we actually needed someone to step in and get 20,
Yeah, we needed
20
that
plus
from
points.
Dante, bro.
But
He's
like,
doing it because we needed it.
yeah,
I'm not
because
saying I'm not blaming Dante. Yeah, I'm just
yeah,
adding facts. I'm just putting facts on the table. That's all I want to do. Right. I don't want to draw a conclusion. I wanted everybody else to draw their own conclusion. Right. By saying Dante DiVincenzo is taking 21 shots a game. What I'm saying is Dante DiVincenzo has stepped up his game offensively, being more assertive, while providing just about the same level of defense. Is what I'm saying. And you can draw your own conclusion from that.
eh, we needed it. But now that you actually have some offensive talent, it probably would be in Tibbs' best idea to pivot to it. And you know what's funny? It wouldn't shock me if Bogdanovich started the last game before All Star.
Oh, he's starting. Dante gonna be out, bro.
Oh yeah, knowing Tibbs, he'll start Alec Burks instead.
Yeah. If it were me, I'm sitting out Jalen Brunson also.
Star McBride.
Yeah.
I was saying, yeah, it's against Orlando, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna
Well,
say,
considering all the injuries or the 9 game stretch
yeah,
without OG and Randall,
use
if
the
we win,
small rotation.
if we win the next game, we're 5-4 over that stretch. If we lose it, 4-5, which is it, it's better than probably what we anticipated. If you lose your starting front court, like legitimately, we only have one guy that actually started for us at the beginning of the season at
Yeah.
their position, and we're just treading water. So I think Tibbs is going to try his hardest to try to get us 5-4 over that 9 game stretch, and hope the cavalry comes back after the All Star break or shortly after. But I think it when I paint it like that, us going 4-4 despite all these injuries in that stretch, actually is a win. Unfortunately, even though it feels terrible that we're on like a 3 game losing streak, we're like out of that 9 game stretch before the All Star, we're 4-5 or 5-4. Can't be too upset at it. Me personally, I just would like us to.
I'm panicking.
Exactly.
I
Thank you.
can't panic yet, Freezy. I can't just
No,
yet.
I'm saying I'm panicking. I'm not asking y'all to.
I agree. We should be worried.
I'm gonna be worried if these dudes don't come back from
I'm with
injury.
Coach. Yep.
Yeah,
That's
that's what
exactly
I'm
what I'm thinking.
panicking about.
Yeah, that's exactly. I agree with you guys. And as a matter of fact, that's another reason why I say I would sit Brunson, Dante, I would rest these guys and try to get the bench more time to try to incorporate some type of system. Because the way it should be used right now, it should be Brunson, Dante is starting, and then you have Bogdanovich, like we've been saying, as Randall's role. You guys, if you can't generate that way, throw in Burke, throw in McBride. Let these guys figure it out now, at least a game or two while we're in the All Star break and we get a rest. Because to be honest with you, Brog can do a lot that Brunson, I mean that Randall can't do. And then if we have that option to mix and match those guys in the playoffs, it'll help us out. So I'm scared that these guys are gonna come back at the time we need them to. Because
Oh,
remember,
the NBA just came out with that stupid report, and
what you
they
mean?
reviewed the Brunson foul. They said it wasn't a foul,
Yeah,
Are you
but
serious?
but
So
we
then
can't
does
get the
that two
win
points
back.
but you
come
can't.
back?
Yeah, yeah,
We don't get that win now, so
yeah. So
it's
it don't.
fruitless. The crew chief said it was
Oh, that's a
negligible
whole
contact.
different.
Dylan Brooks
Yeah,
would just hit an and 1-3 in overtime and beat us
yo,
anyway or
coach, I
something.
think you was right all along, man. Conspiracy theory, the refs.
Yeah, Jalen Brooks going 4 for 4 in the fourth from three.
Bro, Malloy, I just never liked that dude, man. I hate his face.
Did you? Yo, he's really punchable. But anyway, Coach, my thing is, bro, for somebody like me that has been around a long time, hopefully I'll be around for a lot longer. Seasons like this don't get better with injuries, right? I've seen it too many
Don't you
times.
dare.
Seasons like this where the injury bug is on you, bro. The injury bug is an infestation, bro. Like when the injury bug get on you, bro, that's just what it is.
Is this something for the NBA or sports in general?
No, NBA. I'm talking
Bro,
about NBA.
the
Okay,
thing
because I
is,
was gonna say like some teams, NFL
I
teams get healthy at the right
because
time,
I'm
and
yeah, I'm an athletes are superstitious. They just are. A lot of them are.
Very superstitious.
Yeah. Writings on the wall.
Okay. I was just wondering, bro. I was just wondering where you would,
Because, and for me, every time I see just like Jalen Brunson just kind of like wiggle weird, I'm like, oh, I'm like, I'm gun shy, bro. I get scared every time,
you
and then
cringe every time he falls.
I start analyzing the whole thing, overthinking everything. Like during one of the timeouts, I saw Bogdanovich like rubbing his calf.
yeah.
I'm like, oh no, not him too now. It's
And
contagious.
Coach, you
Yeah,
know Jalen Brunson just returned from injury, right?
Yep.
I know.
We throwing him through a brick wall
And then
again.
the next night he went on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah. He was sharp too, bro.
Oh
Well
yeah,
dressed.
Yeah, they had what he had like the little Louis monogram
Yeah.
jacket, whatever. It was very spiffy,
Yeah.
if I so
Yeah.
might say so myself.
but here's the thing, man. The thing I can't stand when all these Knicks fans they start complaining about the minutes these guys are playing and all this stuff. I'm sorry, the dogs are gonna play. The best dudes are gonna play. Just look at the minutes per game of all. You want to look at the NBA 75 or whatever, the best 75 players. Look at that list and look at their average of minutes per game.
I already,
Okay.
but coach, I already addressed that. It's not the per minutes.
Well,
It's
it's
the
not
the
you.
length.
I'm saying like other
You
people.
talking about fans? Like
Yeah.
I, I don't think we have like two guys in the top 16 per minutes, but nobody in the top 10. Like I don't think it's a matter of like Tibbs overruns guys over the course of the season or game. It's he will fall asleep behind the wheel and just let a guy play for 18, 19 straight minutes, and it's just
He's so
you can't do
result
Right.
that.
But the thing
oriented.
is,
You can't do
then
that.
why have those 17 polo shirt dudes on the second and third row? Then if
Those
they're not keeping track of
those
that crap.
those are, but they're not going to tell Tibbs to sub guys out. They're
But no,
they're
they're
only
the
there.
reminder guys. They're
They're,
head coach Josh has been out there 14 minutes straight
unless there's
or
a
whatever.
straight up minutes restriction on the guy, Tibbs is not going to heed none of that stuff.
Nah,
They're not
nah,
going to
bro.
hear that.
Johnny Bryant do that, bro. That's what I'm saying. Y'all gotta bro, Johnny Bryant control all that stuff, bro. When we had the games, bro, we see Johnny Bryant do it all game. That's what Johnny Bryant does.
And that I'm not trying to be, you know, he's Japanese, I think, our Japanese coach, what's his name?
Dice Yashimoto.
Yeah, he's a
I
big
thought you was
part of
gonna
that
say
stuff.
Hideki Matsui. Come on, coach.
No,
Come on, coach. Don't do that, bro. Don't call that man Ichiro Suzuki, bro.
I
Come on,
can't.
bro.
I,
Come on.
he's a big part of that kind of stuff too. You know, we got a couple nerds on the bench. You know what I'm saying? You got to have them guys. You know,
Nah, man. Johnny
But
Bryant. Johnny
putting this
Bryant
all
does
on
all
Tibbs
that.
though just pisses me off.
well, I mean, it's a common theme that like that's been a thing that he's done for like a decade. Not even with this entire staff. Like, remember, they can give Tim suggestions. Tim doesn't have to take it. Remember, he is
No, I
called the
get
head
it,
coach for a reason. He can.
but
They could like when I've been to games and I've been very close enough to see Johnny Bryant explicitly say, "Yo, we probably should sub this guy for this." And Tibbs will hear it, process it, and he'll still have to make the decision himself because
And I ain't gonna
when
say
it comes
I
up
ain't
to
gonna say
him,
they argue, but I do see those two dudes talking in a very macho tone to each other. And Tibbs will be like, all right. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know. So I guess what I'm saying is I don't know if well either way the what we're getting is not what we're being sold. I guess if we say it like that. But coach, my thing about the injuries though, and I think we've seen it enough times to understand like in a playoff run, if you rush a guy back, you know you're not getting a guy that's going to be 100%. And then if you rush him back, he's still going to have court rust. So it's like, when you bring guys back, they've been out of the loop for a long time. It's going to take them some time to get into rhythm. So even if you bring Randall back at 80%, he's still going to be a little rusty. Even when you bring Mitch back at 80%
hmm
and sit Hartenstein, who's probably at about 50% right now, and rest Hartenstein till he gets back at 80%. When you get those guys back, they're going to have court rust and not be at 100% because for the most part during the marathon of an NBA season, by the time you get to February, March, April, even the guys that didn't miss games aren't going to be 100%, right? Everybody's going to be wore down over the course of a season, right? Like coach, I'm not gonna lie to you, coach. Like I tell coach all the time. You remember I told you I used to box, right? I had a orbital bone repair in my face. Like a dude legit punched
Ooh,
me so hard he broke the thing up under your eye. You know what I'm talking about? The orbital part. And
yeah.
so
Ooh.
so I go out. I have the thing. The dude tell me the time frame. He like Uncle Freezie. Don't go beating up your face on people's hand. Just sit out and rest, right? And I'm like, okay. And so I go get for the second follow up. He's like, yo, the bone is healed, but you might still want to sit out and let. And I was like, yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm at I feel good. He's like, yo, you probably at about 70%. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm good to go. I feel great. He's like, no, you don't feel great. You just feel energetic, like you feel like you hadn't grinded, so you feel fresh or refreshed, but you're still not 100%. And so that's what I'm saying to like Randall for the lack of not playing basketball 40 minutes a night, he's gonna feel fresh, even though he'll be about 75%. And when those guys come back, is this team good enough to be championship contenders with Hartenstein 80%, Mitch 80%, Randall 80%, OG 80%, and all those guys, as opposed to those guys being at about 85% and being in rhythm?
uh,
That was a long that was like 10 paragraphs of me saying all these guys are gonna be straight when it's time for them to come back.
when it's go time.
I just hope they got. I know they got all them hyperbaric chambers and all that. They need to just put them all on ice for the next for the next
Put
2 weeks.
put
Just
them in ice and
just
rice.
put them in,
Them.
put them in Michael Jackson's like thing. This hyperbaric chamber. Oh wait, maybe not that one. Because
Wrong one, man. Or
I
do him
want
like
my
Disney,
milk.
freeze him.
That story. He used to call it his milk. I want my
Oh,
milk.
man.
But
Oh
no,
my god.
I agree with you. Like, go ahead, my fault.
No, but
Well,
nah. But
well,
what I'm saying is,
you ever had a knee injury or leg injury?
yeah. I tore my ACL.
I have a
And
back injury and a
and
knee injury
you
right
remember?
now.
And I'm sorry, Combo, but I just want to ask this question because I had the same injury, right? So MCL, right? Kind of the same, not the same, but
Same area.
you remember how you feel at like 6 months? How you feel like you just ready to go at like 6 months? You're like, dang, man,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but nope.
I'm not sore today, but you already. But everybody has been telling you for normal people, it's a 2 year. It's like a 2 year process you got to go through for normal human beings,
Yeah.
not aliens like Coach, because Coach was probably ready to go after 4 months. But for
Nah, I
normal
was
human
8 months.
beings, huh?
I was 8 months in the early '90s. Coming back from ACL. That's different.
That's like 4 months today.
Yeah, yeah. But
8 months
but
in the early 90s.
but for normal human beings, it takes like 2 years for you to heal and get complete faith in doing stuff the way you did before you were injured, right? It's it's like 2 years.
Yeah, part of it's
Doctor told me
the
this
mental
last year.
side
He's
of it.
like, yo, it's gonna take like 2 years
Yeah, like
before
I'm sorry.
you could talk about the injury in your history. Like, yeah, this happened to me, right? So for these guys, when you're talking about coming back, like from Mitch, the ankle surgery, Mitch ain't gonna be right when he come back. Even when he start on court activities, the fact that you favored one leg over the other while you were injured means you have to get your balance and your gait back right. Like all these small things that we don't know, we just think he do rehab and he'll be back. Nah, man, it ain't like that.
I
That's
mean,
why.
yeah. One thing that we're lucky on though is OG and Randall, because it's not the legs.
But
Well,
that's why
in Randall's case, it might be a little bit more important because when you're a left-handed player and you
you
have a
need the right hand.
jacked up right shoulder, remember Randall puts that shoulder
Right.
into guys to score. That's what he uses
Yep.
that right shoulder for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He
Uses it to
dislodges
block out the
people.
defenders.
He dislodges 200-pound men with that shoulder.
Goes
Pause.
up straight. And left.
Pause. But that's part of his game. That's part of who he is.
His
That's
game.
part of his physicality.
All right,
So
I get it.
so I don't know. I don't know what Randall we're gonna get as far as that shoulder is concerned because
That's
if we're gonna get like jump shot shooting Randall, it might not be the best thing for us if we're trying to go deep in the playoffs.
but
But in the same token, the fact that he's not wearing a sling this early, like immediately after, and he's just, I guess, just rehabbing, trying to build up the muscles around the area to strengthen it. That's a helpful sign. But you know that the one time he decides to go up and tries to rip through, and someone whacks down real hard,
Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. Yeah.
uh, you remember when it happened to Melo against the Celtics, the first round when he was going off, and well, I think before we went on to play the Pacers,
You talking
he
about
got
Jason Terry?
someone whacked him real hard on a rip
Yeah.
through, and he was just you could see it in his face, like he just. But it's all like pain management at that point. He's gonna definitely get surgery. Like I think he's gonna definitely get surgery on it, but it seems like it's gonna be like how much pain tolerance does he have? And according to Tibbs, he has a ton of pain tolerance. So
Yeah. Oh,
we'll
he's a
see.
monster,
I,
bro. The
Yeah,
dude's a
so
beast, bro.
I was
they're gonna hit him with those. What were those shots they used to get Freezy? Those
cortisone shots.
Yeah, cortisone.
those shots where the needle is damn near a foot long.
Yeah, and your bone, yeah. I
He's
got
gonna
one. I got one of those Friday morning.
oof,
Yeah.
oof.
What I
Yeah,
was gonna
Friday
say,
morning, and I was gonna come back and do the show, and then I just decided to put my leg up, bro. I was like, nah, man, I ain't doing no show.
Man put the leg on the shelf. They
Yeah.
said not tonight.
I know I was a step slower and 20 pounds heavier after. That's for sure. 25
Ooh.
pounds heavier
But
when I came back.
what to your point is about them coming back. I would also agree with you. What scares me is when they come back, is our team going to be well enough to where they can at least give us
That's the
that push
question
to
I'm
get
asking
more
you.
wins? No, I don't think so. That's what I'm saying. I don't think so. I don't think we're a championship team. I don't think we have anything more than with this team right now than the Eastern Conference Finals because we're dealing with what most teams deal with. And I think our team coming back at 80% is good enough to get there. But
No
I
one's
don't know
dealing
how
with
they,
what we were dealing with right now. No way.
well, with injuries.
Well, the
I mean,
Grizzlies. That's
Right.
about it. The
Injuries.
Grizzlies.
yeah.
That's about it.
Like,
Okay,
I'm
if you're talking
sorry.
about like
I
superstars
said
and
this
stuff like
last
that,
year about Boston. They're due. I'm sorry. I'm not putting it out in the universe to jinx somebody, but
Your
them dudes are
banana
due.
peel. You're not going all.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
not going
throwing a
Mario
banana
Kart.
peel
Jordan
out
rules.
because Boston ain't had like a something that affected them injury wise, and I don't know when.
Because they get calls, bro.
Yeah, I don't.
They get
I
protected by
mean,
more.
even Porzingis is staying healthy for him.
They get protected. You notice you
I
had
guess it is the luck of the Irish, the leprechaun.
yeah.
Something I don't know.
Yeah. I can see what you mean by that pause.
Like,
Um yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I honestly think that down the stretch, we're going to need these guys to step up. And if they're at 80%, we're already asking guys to play out of position now. So I can only imagine what they're going to feel like later on because they're going to also be tired. So for me, it's timing is key. That's why if we come back next, like let's say second week in March, then I say, yeah, we got a reasonable shot to make it past the Eastern Conference Final. But that, if not, at least OG or Randall we're going to be struggling. And then when they come back, we're still going to be struggling because now the guys that are tired, they're going to be needing rest. But we're expecting Randall to go ahead and drop when he's supposed to be resting. It's not going to be working.
why? I don't see. Now you're getting back on this boat of this rest crap.
Okay, this is what I mean. For
All
example,
the best teams in all these dynasties, none of them rested.
with what Unc just said, them coming back at 85% and being on cruise control, or them coming back and struggling. I said if they come back and they're on cruise control, that's a
Right.
good thing. But the problem is if our bench and our team isn't doing well, like we've been struggling now, because we're currently tired trying to fill in these spots. If we're still having these issues when they're doing their best, it's not gonna matter. That's why I said timing is key between where they come back and we figure out these issues that we're having now between Indianapolis, with all these losses that we've had.
Well, it's just like the way we were built before. The way we
Yeah,
were built before, we weren't good enough to win a game if either Brunson or Randall had a bad game. We weren't
but
good enough to win. But now, with everyone back and healthy, we are good enough if one of them have a bad game because we can pick up the slack with the
But you
rest of
say
our
if
talent.
we're back and healthy though.
Right. We're back
yeah,
and healthy.
Right.
So,
Yeah. That's
eh,
yes. I
yeah,
think. I think both
and
sides. I think both points can be accurate in that sense. If
and it's not
if
going
both
to take
sides are healthy, coach, I agree with you.
yeah, and it's not going
I
to
mean,
take
if the
as
team is
long
healthy.
as we think because we all saw what 1 month how it can change the season when that 1 month we just turned the whole season around with OG when he came in and Precious. Okay, so we're gonna get a rebirth of that. We're gonna have this whole new team we haven't had yet all year. If we get a good month out of them at the end of the year to get all things going with each other and getting our sea legs back and all that stuff, we're good.
Get the kinks out the system.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but teams generally don't go 14-2 in a month though.
man.
That's raging hot. That's
Yeah.
otherworldly hot,
And
right?
then to follow up with this,
It's only 4-4. Like we're
And
literally four and
technically,
four after that.
we the only thing that derailed that technically is the injury.
The
but
injuries.
what but what I think Unc is trying to say, I'm not trying to speak for him, but for
Yeah,
us
because
to
I'm right here. I can speak for
I
myself.
know that's what I say. I'm not trying to speak for you. I'm
Yeah,
thinking what
because
I think
if
is
you got a
best.
point, just say your point.
All I'm trying to say is in that month of January, I feel like we did a great run and we did everything that was like to our advantage, like we maximize our potential. To expect that again is going to be very hard. Like I may see
Right.
a 6 or 7 game winning streak, but anything more than that, I highly see we're going to be struggling. And if we struggled like we did against weaker teams in Houston and in Indianapolis, what do you think we're going to do when we go against the Bucks when they have two bigs that they're going to exploit us in down low game, or they're going to exploit us with
Wait,
our offense or
wait,
their
wait, wait, wait,
defense? Or
wait.
look at
You
Tatum and Brown and how Porzingis is that 3-headed
hold
offense.
on, hold on. But you literally you brought up the Pacers as if we were whole. We weren't whole. Like that. The team that we faced the Pacers the last two times is not going to be anything near what our playoff roster should be.
But do you understand why I said that about the Pacers game?
I don't because it's not going to be what our team is constructed to be. Like Precious Achua is not playing 45 minutes in the playoffs. I'm sorry.
And having to create threes from the corner.
Like, yeah, Josh Hart is not playing 40 minutes in the playoffs. If Josh Hart is playing 40 minutes in the playoffs, we have a lot of problems.
We have a lot of injuries.
Like,
I was
like Hart, like the things that you mentioned, like Deuce McBride is not going to play in the playoffs. That's the way it's looking. He's probably not, or he's going to be extremely situational.
Right.
And he had to play a ton of minutes that game. So it's one of those things where, like, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but like the panic, or I don't want to say that it's panic, but the thing that you're pointing out is like, yo, if we're having to think about those issues in the playoffs, that means we have 5 or 6 guys out of the rotation. Period. Like that. That's what that means. And if that's the case, we're not beating anybody. It doesn't matter who you. It could be a playing team. We're not going to beat them if we have a bunch of guys out. So like you trying to mention the Bucks or how their team or that dynamic is. It doesn't matter who you're playing if you're not whole. It doesn't
what
matter who you're
I
playing
got
if
I
you're not
got I
whole.
got a stat for you on how important these three dudes are we're missing. I'm
go
not
ahead.
counting Mitch right now because we thought he was gonna be gone all year at first, and all just. But anyway, without Randall, we're 4-3. Without iHeart, we're 2-2, and without OG Ananobi this year, we're 21-19. So what does that tell you? With those three guys, we're a barely over 500 team without these guys.
Yeah.
So what? Why are expectations so high without them?
Yeah. I can't start thinking about the Bucks because we lost to the Pacers in February when we had
Well,
four or five
the
rotational
reason
guys
why,
out.
coach, just if we're just gonna be in the moment, the reason is because tonight we played a team that's 6 games under 500, and
Yeah,
if we're a
well,
500 team without them, and they're 6 games under 500, then based on the math, based on what you were saying, then we should probably should have beaten this team.
We
yeah.
should have.
That's
We
why I'm
should have.
pissed about tonight's game personally.
Yeah,
But
We
the
should have.
overall trajectory of the team we're putting out
But
there right
500,
now,
500 teams lose to under 500 teams all the time. And the thing that he's saying is, as currently constructed, when we're missing some of these guys, we're a 500 basketball team. Like, it
Right.
is what it is. And
yeah.
when you're missing those guys, 500 basketball teams lose to teams that
And
are under 500.
but Dre, the other thing I think we have to take into account without those guys, that's one thing, right? But do we take into account the new additions to what this team
Yeah.
would be like with Burks and
new
Bogdanovich?
addition, Ronnie,
That
Bobby,
that
Ricky, and Mike.
Yeah.
that's
Sorry.
what that's why I brought up Indianapolis. The loss that we had with them, we tried to run it. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Miguel, excuse me real quick, everybody. Miguel P, thank you for your generous contribution. Who is in our rotation in the playoffs?
All these
I'll
guys,
tell you,
except for the ones that are not injured,
I'll say, I'll
or
guess
for the ones
if
that
I
are
if I
injured.
had to if I had to guess, Jalen, Dante, OG, Randall, Mitch Robinson, if he's gonna come back. Undoubtedly, Tibbs loves him, loves 48 minutes of rim protection. Josh Hart, Hartenstein, Bogdanovich, and then like situationally, is going to be Burks, Precious, and Deuce, depending on matchup or foul trouble or what have you. If I had to
What?
guess, if I
I
had to
think you're
guess,
wrong.
if I had to guess, because Freezy, you're remembering. If you remember,
There's no way. There's no way he's making Precious Achua situational, bro.
Yup.
Freezy, if you were if you but listen, Freezy.
We got to
I'm
face it.
Dre,
We're a
I'm listening, bro.
10-man
I got
rotation if Mitch
audio. I
comes
can
back.
hear.
But I'm saying like it's one of those things where Tibbs values rim protection overall. If he didn't value rim protection overall, I would say Precious's hook, line, and sinker going to be in the rotation without blinking. But but I'm only going with what Tibbs has shown me,
Right.
right? And when I view it like, and then when I mention the minute totals, Brunson is going to play 40 minutes. Period. Dante is going to play 30 or near 30. OG
Okay.
is definitely going to play 40 minutes. Randall, if his arm doesn't fall off, he's playing 40 minutes. He's going to be screaming at Tibbs to get in the game. And then I already mentioned it early, but 48 minutes of rim protection. And then where does Bogdanovich come into play? Where in his career he's played 3 and back up 4. Like he's gonna sink right in terms of being like the backup 4. And then where does Josh Hart come in? He's gonna be a 3 or play some minutes at a 2 behind Dante.
Yeah.
And I literally just named 8, 9 guys, and that's not even touching Precious or Alec Burks
Oh,
But
I'm
or
gonna say
or
this. I
News.
think since Precious Achua has been here,
yeah,
Precious Achua probably has been our second best defender
I
since he's been
agree. I agree, 100%.
and since he's been here, he's probably been our second best rebounder since he's been here, regardless of if he's playing 4 or 5.
If we talking pound for pound,
but
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
Dre, don't you think it would be better to
yeah.
use like Uncle was saying earlier about Precious and OG on the defensive end, and then have
he's
Bogey coming in as a
definitely gonna do
3-point
that,
threat?
bro. He's definitely
Uh,
gonna do that.
You see
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying? Like
that's
you can
why you
have
have
those two.
Precious and
Wait,
Mitch
hold on.
with the
You can
second
have
unit with
Precious
them.
back up Randall, and then you can have Bogues come in as a 3-point threat on the bench and use it that way, the way we solidify our defense.
so
Like
where's Josh Hart?
but then you could use Hart in the guard position the way he's playing off of rotation.
Uh,
I'm talking about just for defense. I'm not using Josh Hart as a
Situation.
scorer. I'm using him as a defensive player with his height and speed and his rebounding ability. You can use him there and put him back on the
it
board.
sounds good until you actually like put down the minutes
But Dre,
on
this is the
paper,
time.
and then
But
it
this is
just
the time
doesn't
you
add up.
use. But this is the time you use because guys are injured. Okay, let me see if I use Precious at the 4. I know OG ain't there right
In the
now.
playoffs, I'm not gonna lie to you,
Just
they're
real
not
quick, I
gonna.
think Isaiah Hartenstein is the starter going forward.
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
I think he is, and I think, but if Mitch comes back, he's gonna be a
Bib.
bench.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you.
But team like be absolutely honest with you, teams don't typically put a Precious or 2 at the 4 in the playoffs because he's not a spacer.
But he's
Well,
been
but then
doing real
again,
well.
I'm talking about Tom Thibodeau, and he doesn't value spacing in the way that I do. So
But the
And plus lineup flexibility, right?
Right.
Lineup flexibility.
Because now we have enough shooters, okay, that we hope the hot hand just stays in. So insert if Dante, Bogey, or Burks, one of them get hot in the game, then they're the ones staying in.
Yep.
but but that's what y'all are forgetting. What is Precious helping us the
but
most in?
but you just mentioned a guy that I already consider situational. I think Burks is gonna be situational as well.
But what I'm trying to say is this: check this out. Precious has been down low, grabbing boards, going back up, creating second chance opportunities. What happens when Hart is out? Or what happens when we're running our small ball with Randall at the 5? We're going to need Precious to be down there banging down low. I'm not saying he's going to contribute the way that Randall does offensively.
I hate to say this. I hate to say this, Cowboy Bob, but we were a top tier rebounding team before Precious, and we
Before
Yeah,
will be
Precious.
after Precious. So you can't
Yeah.
use the rebounding and the putbacks thing. Like
Yeah.
we were
And
always at the top of the
but
league.
what I'm
Healthy.
But
So
what I'm saying is that his contribution with that, as well as the defense, when OG comes back, you want to put those guys into that situation. That makes sense. That's what I'm trying to say. For me, I would use Bogey as a specialist because of his height, his 3-point ability, and his diversity. I would try to use Precious as a backup to Randall because of how his defense is. That's all I'm saying.
but this is
I'm
but this
telling
is
you that
And y'all may say I'm
I'm
wrong.
telling you that The only reason why Precious Achua's numbers look like that
Randall
is
ain't
because Hartenstein was hurt.
Yeah,
When
I hardly
Hartenstein
even
was
take his
healthy,
rebounds.
Hartenstein was 10 points, 20 rebounds.
Yeah.
But
You know what I'm saying? And great great rim protection.
And when
listen,
Randall and I Hart are back, Precious
Yeah,
wasn't
Precious
averaging
numbers
no
ain't
10.
looking right.
Yeah.
but this is where I'm like, if I knew Tibbs valued Precious even more, we would have went to like more of a switching defense and played to his strengths. He had that man in drop coverage like he's a rim protector. Tibbs. Tibbs had that man at the 5 in drop coverage. That's the reason why Aaron Holiday was getting to the rim and finishing repeatedly over and over, because he thought, okay, we're not gonna play a switching defense. We're just gonna put him in drop. And then Aaron Holiday was like, okay, Precious is long, but he's still 6'7", 6'8". I can get to
6'9".
the rim.
Yeah.
So he's not Mitch in that respect. So when you have a guy that's married to what he thinks is the ideal in terms of what works on defense, in terms of like drop coverage and what works to him, he's gonna go with the player that does the drop coverage the best, because that's what he's in love with and that's what he values team defense wise. That's the only reason why I was like they might cut back.
In fairness to your point, what did the personnel look like when Precious was in drop coverage? Who else was on the floor?
Exactly.
Well, but we were talking about Precious and bench lineups. I don't
No,
think
I'm
Precious
talking
is
about
going to
tonight
share.
against Aaron. I'm talking about tonight.
We had Bogey, Alec
Yeah,
Burks.
see, there it is.
Who else?
Yeah, there it is right there. That's all.
Bill McBride.
But this is the thing, like
If Bogey
Aaron
and
Holiday.
Brunson
Aaron
were on the
Holiday
floor together,
averages
that's
like
why
2
that's
points, bro.
Huh?
He averages 2 points. There's no reason you should be like thinking, okay, we should just be in drop
See,
coverage
but
to
drop
let
coverage
Aaron Holiday beat you. Like,
drop coverage
oh man,
doesn't matter that much if the defender can stay with his man off the screen. Right? If the defender can stay with his man off the screen, then the drop coverage wouldn't have been the most imprinting point. You know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying about maybe misusing Precious in the while I mean, because the alternative is Precious on the perimeter and Taj Gibson
oh
in drop
god.
coverage.
Yeah.
Well, drop coverage is literally the only thing Taj can do because
He can't move his feet.
he
Right.
can't even catch the ball. I'm not like Taj used to be so sure-handed when like a rebound would come his way.
He washed,
Everything is
bro.
just slipping out his hand. Like
He
it's like
washed.
it's like he sees what he can do, but he physically can't do it.
Right. He washed, bro. He
Too
is
much popcorn, man. That butter. Stop asking for extra
I
butter.
know, I know his knees be making all types of noises when he run up and
You
down
saw,
the
you
court.
saw him tired against Indianapolis. He looked
Oh my
fatigued.
god.
yeah.
And they actually gave him minutes, and he just was like, after like the first half, he was just exhausted. And I'm looking like, why did
We
we
should
bring him
we
back?
should have just started Precious at the 5 tonight, man. That's what
But
we
then
should have did.
see, Dre, you said something
But
earlier
Jericho
about
Sims was out due to illness.
yeah, and then he
No,
came.
I'm saying tonight, not other games. I'm
Okay.
saying tonight we should have just started Precious at the 5.
Oh well.
Oh, because what I was gonna say was you brought up a point about us treading water with Brunson. I was gonna ask you what outside of what we just spoke of about Bogdanovich and how we're gonna use everybody. What adjustments do you see that we can do to at least make us? I don't want to say winnable, but at least makes it more in our favor.
Yeah, you can't.
Well, with the current
There's a
roster,
saying called making chicken salad out of chicken ish. You know.
Yeah.
I've
yeah,
never heard that.
and
Yeah.
and to that point that Coach just said, we're trying to replicate Randall's gravity and production and usage, right? At some point, you got to figure out a way to replicate that with someone who's the closest on the
There
team
aren't
that
many
can do that.
Randalls in the NBA,
No,
guys.
no, 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 no,
Sorry.
no, no. I'm just talking about his
Face the
offensive production.
facts.
I'm talking about his offensive
No, I know
production,
what you're saying. Right.
and Bogdanovich is actually a very efficient pick and roll ball handler. He's also a 3-level scorer. You can't.
Julius Randle is a 1%er human being. Okay,
That's
they don't
that's that's fine.
they
But if
don't
we
build
would have,
people like him.
Hold on, coach. He's
it,
talking about replacing Randall. How
well,
well off
I'm
Bogey
not
is
I'm
he?
not saying get 100% of Randall's production back. I'm
Yeah.
saying try to get 60 to 70%
You're
of
just
his usage back.
sideways making excuses
No, he's not. He's
of
trying to
why. No,
explain.
of why it's Tibbs' fault.
No, he's not. He's
But
No,
explaining. He's explaining the replacement for Randall and what he's expecting from
I
him.
know. Why is he
well,
making that? Making that you can't
because
replace
you
it with just
don't
numbers in a column.
because you don't put three non-shooters on the court at the same time. That's you don't start a game like that either. Like no team would do that. I'm sorry,
Then
no.
we be complaining when there's no shooters coming off the bench.
Okay, coach. This is
We
what I was
don't
What do
trying to
you
have the
mean?
numbers. You're sitting there trying to.
What
But coach,
are
remember
we are
earlier,
we are we forgetting that Alec Burks shoots 40% from three and Deuce McBride also shoots 40% from three,
and I also mentioned
Not for
this
and
the
we
Knicks
have
earlier.
so far. Either of
and
them.
we have and we have Brunson who shoots 40% from three, and and Dante who shoots 40% from three. There's a thing called staggering, but Tom Thibodeau is not a good staggering guy. That's just historically he's never been a guy that staggers guys. Like I wouldn't say like he's insane, but he's just not really good at staggering the important players. Like there's been times where he takes both Brunson and Randall out at the same time, and we know that's like foolishness. No team, the majority of the teams in the league who have two stars, they stagger them. Tibbs doesn't believe in staggering based on need or floor balancing. He just believes whatever unit he thinks will work or what he values that night, he'll go with. And it's not a gripe at it's not like a poo poo on Tibbs. It's just the fact that no team in the league would have went with that lineup of three non shooters. I'm sorry. I don't believe any contending team or a coach would truly have Josh Hart, Precious Chua, and Sims on the court at the same
Not.
time, let alone
There
start.
aren't that many teams that have that many non-shooters on a team. That's why.
But when you
This
have
is
five
why we've
guys,
been
but when
losing
you
for
have,
years. We've
but
had
when
so
you,
many non-shooters
but coach,
on the team.
when you have five guys that shoot 40% from three, you can rotate and stagger enough so you always have three of them on the court. It's not that hard. You're trying to make it seem like it's rocket science. It's really not that hard. It's
And
not.
coach, when I said earlier about incorporating the plays that you would use for Randall to to Bogey, would also help out the team staying in flow when he comes back in and use Randall the same way that they use Bogey. That's what I'm talking about, creating offense and floor spacing in Bogey. You use him to his strengths. And his 20 points is going to adequate because right now Randall's giving us 24 points and Bogey's giving us 20. So now he can start. That's 4 points less. We can expect maybe Brunson to give us a little bit more because he's been doing that. But we still
I'll get
contribute offensive. Not you. I'm talking about for me. This is what I was talking about. That's why I
you
said
get cop
use
up
him
by
with those plays because even though it's not the same offensively, we're still gonna get 20 to 24 points, and we can make the adjustments between Dante. We can make adjustments between Brunson. I think that would be better. And then you use Brogdon. Bogey as a threat
I,
because the whole
I,
thing is go ahead.
I was gonna say like I'll give you an example, coach. When we were coming down the stretch and Brunson hit that shot to tie the game, they had Bogey on the strong side and they would not cheat off of him. And that's the reason why Brunson was able to be the best version of himself and get his shot off in isolation. But when you have Brunson on the court, guys are cheating off the strong side. That is legitimately the biggest no you can do in basketball. You do not cheat off the strong side to stop a guy. But when Josh Hart is on the court, guess what they do? They cheat off the strong side, they get the ball out of his hands, and then they make Josh Hart become a decision maker, which is why the whole first quarter and the first half, our offense sputtered. It just sputtered, it sputtered, it sputtered because we had three non shooters on the court. Now, if you would have removed Sims and kept Josh Hart, cool, you could put Josh Hart on the weak side, then you could put someone on the strong side that's a shooter. You would have Brunson be his best or most effective. But tonight he wasn't that because he shot what 10 for 25, and he shoots 50% normally. And yes, I understand he performs at a very high level, but you can't keep going to the well and bleeding him dry, putting him in these compromising instances or some circumstances. Like, not Jalen Brunson is like 5'11" on a good day. There are no superstars in the league that would consistently score at the clip he was scoring at with three non-shooters on the court, and it's just not fair to him. And I don't think it's just fair. It's just not logical to pair him and his type of style of game where it's getting to the paint, getting to the lane, creating his own shot, and not putting spacing next to it. It's you need two guys that can shoot on the court, bare minimum next to Jalen Brunson at all times. Just two. You don't need three. You don't need four. You just need two guys that can shoot. But when it's just Dante and everybody's cheating, that's when you have these nights like tonight where the refs swallow the whistle and Brunson can't just play through the contact because he's playing through the contact of two or three guys instead of just one guy. And it's really hard for him to live underneath those circumstances, or really hard to score for any guy underneath those circumstances. That's my whole point, coach. Like, it's not like I'm blaming Tibbs and I think Tibbs is a psychopath and he's terrible, but it's like it's not optimal to have your superstar that's playing by himself without his other star player to put him in a situation where he can't even function because guys are helping off the strong side because they're ignoring a non-shooter like Precious Achua because Jalen Brunson is that effective in isolation. You can't. It's just not. It's just not like if you were to give Luca those scenarios with three non-shooters, he would throw a fit. He would get visibly upset. You putting three guys on the court that can't shoot,
Right.
and you want me to isolate the entire time with three or four guys showing help.
Hey,
Like,
Dre,
come on.
what I'm saying to you, bro, I don't know if I said this correctly, or if I did service to the thought that's in my mind. What I'm saying is, I don't think none of this matters, right? I don't think generally the injury bug stays for an entire season.
Oof. Don't say that.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't say that.
And listen, if you're a Knicks fan and dislike what I'm saying, but you sat through the 2022 season, then you are one of those fans that don't understand like how the injury thing works. The injury thing is a
Plague.
bit of bad luck and injury stuff, right? It's like Mario Kart, bro. It's like the banana peels are going to be out all season.
It's an avalanche because
Yeah,
once one guy goes down, then someone has to pick up the slack for that other guy, and then that guy gets hurt.
and the other
trying to
guy
pick up
gets hurt
slack.
because he's carrying too much of the load, and now
It's
you
like
out here throwing
compensation
screen
injuries in the body.
passes to Mike Allstott because Warwick Dunn has a pulled hamstring, and then now you got to move a receiver to running back, and then the quarterback Brad Johnson getting hurt because he hurt every 6 weeks anyway,
Oh
and
God.
all this it's just an avalanche. And Cowboy Bob, I'm talking to the fantasy football folks that do fantasy football, right? I don't expect Coach or Dre to understand like the fantasy football aspect of stuff. What I'm saying is the injury bug, like legit, all it takes is for Michael Pittman Jr. to get hurt. Now the quarterback don't have his best option at receiver. Now the quarterback is scrambling for 7 yards. He gets hit. Then you bring in a dude that's 39 years old to save the season. He is processing slow and can't scramble out of the pocket. Now your linemen are getting hurt. Now your defense is out there. Now your defense has got to win you the game. Now your defenders are getting hurt. Now your kicker has got to attempt 60-yard field goals. And now your kicker's getting hurt. It's just like the avalanche of things. I'm not saying the season's over. What I'm saying is hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Is what I'm saying. Hope for the best. Hope everybody comes back at 100%, but be prepared.
If they're not, Because
Our
you can
our
even look
injury
at Atlanta.
our well was so dry that Taj Gibson came off the street and started.
On a
That's how
10-day
bad it was.
contract, bro. We
Why?
started a 10-day contract, dude, bro.
Twice. He got
I'm not
two.
gonna lie to you, Freezy. Between you and Coach, y'all might have better knees than Taj right now.
Bro, bro, mine. I have mine. Mine are pause,
I got
pause,
about
but mine are
one
just
trip down
growing
the
all the
court.
way out, bro.
I'm dead.
He's like, I just don't want Atlanta to happen all over
I'm
again.
backing someone down, and I'm doing that OG trick where you put the ball between your legs and you go up with your hands like you have the ball, and then grab it and do it like you know that move. Oh shit.
Oh man.
Crazy coach.
Yeah, man.
The meat hook will
Oh
definitely be
man.
in full effect.
I'm sick of winging
Oh
people,
man.
bro.
Nah, but all I know is I was really pissed, especially with this guy behind me, that crew. But for the most part, like I said, this therapy with y'all tonight, taught me off the ledge. I mean, we're all think the same. We don't care if we got the ball boy and Jacob, topping the other topping.
We got 3 guys participating at All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
Hopping in the dunk contest.
Oh my god.
Well, Brunson better
See
figure
if he
out his
has the
three
Kenny
point.
Skywalker moment.
Brunson better figure out his 3 point shot before the 3 point
A Knicks
contest.
bench player winning the
Yeah.
slam dunk contest.
Wait, he's really doing the 3-point contest?
Yeah, Brunson is doing the 3 point contest.
Oh Lord.
This dude, he's gonna get more work in during All Star break between the game,
You
the
saw,
3-point
you saw he got his
contest.
brains done. He got it done for All Star. You know,
Yeah.
He, the way Freezy talking, he's gonna trip over the money ball and he's gonna be out for the season.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, bro.
He's
Why
talking
would
about weak
you
curse.
say that though, coach? You didn't
Well,
have
hey,
to
coach.
say that.
Basically, what I'm getting at with the injury bug, bro, is if you have 2 empty roster spots, right?
Use
Why?
them. Thank
Why do
you.
you have
use
2 blank
them
roster spots?
because we're trying to figure out a buyout guy, but all the good
Buyouts.
buyout guys are gone. Like, who do you even want? Who is even in the buyout market that's worth a damn now?
You
Lie.
actually got 3 spots with
Robin
Gibbs,
Lopez and Ish Smith.
Oh God,
and you even got 3 spots
Lowry's
when
already
Gibbs get
on the
off his
Sixers,
10-day
We
coach.
need a
contract.
goon to protect Brunson
Lowry's already on the Sixers, coach.
until the boys come back.
I didn't say Lowry
I didn't
now.
mean Lowry.
No,
Someone like Lowry.
Oh, okay.
no, Ish
It's
Smith,
well,
Ish Smith, and Robin Lopez.
I
Go
would,
get
I
him
would
and
take,
bring him here, bro. Because the
Yeah.
thing is,
I would take a
you're
phone.
not worried about what they're gonna do once everybody get healthy. They buy out dudes, bro. They gonna sit on the end
Stopgaps.
of the bench and be glad they got a job.
No. And you rather
Yeah,
have them than Taj Gibson, who's on a second 10-day contract.
Right.
Because at least they can contribute more at a position that
They
you
can be like, man,
actually
I have a
need.
chance to get a ring.
And I don't even know if you can bring Taj back because they signed Taj to a 1-year deal, right?
no,
And then
it's a
they
10 day,
cut him.
another 10 day.
Two 10
And then
days.
it
There was two
no,
10 days.
bro, stop cutting me
Oh,
off. Relax, bro. Let me finish. They signed him in the beginning of the season to a guaranteed 1-year deal and then cut him. And then they brought him back on a 10-day contract. And then they gave him another 10-day contract. My point is, I don't know if after this 10-day contract is over, if they can bring him back because you can only offer 2 10-day contracts without offering a contract.
I think they know that they're done with him after this one. I think they legitimately brought him back just to get us through All Star,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
and
So
then and then they're just
I,
gonna empty his spot and get someone else.
that's 3 spots then.
I say Marcus
No, it's two.
Morris.
Mook, you want to bring Mook back? I'm here for it.
Mook is delusional though. He actually thinks he needs to play like rotational minutes, even when we're healthy. Like he's one of those types of guys. Like even when everybody's back, he thinks I still need 20 minutes.
and 10 shots. He's like, yo, I'm not signing unless I'm getting 20 minutes and 10 shots.
Sound like
And
Klay
I'm
Thompson.
in the closing lineup.
Sound
Bro,
like
you
Klay
a
Thompson.
buyout guy, bro. It's not July 1st.
And you got to put a PlayStation in my locker too.
Yes. Charged up before every game. Yo, I can't have my controllers dying on me during the game, bro.
We're gonna ride that ex-Knicks train.
Hey,
Bring back Gallinari too while you at it.
Oh,
Actually,
come
I
on,
actually
teach
wouldn't be
him.
mad at Gallinari. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Hey, Gallinari he's a 4-5 nowadays.
What,
man.
what number
Gallinari's
did
out
he?
there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
out there.
Yeah,
Bring him
he got
on, bro.
released. He's
he
already
can wear
available.
those pony rooster shoes that he used to wear.
Oh my God.
He still can get to the free throw line.
I mean, Wilson Chandler's a free agent right now, so
Oh my God.
Hey, we got technically 3 spots. So
you know it's funny. Wilson Chandler is not even old now. He's still like 33 or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
You would-
way. Is he?
He's
I
not.
think
He's
he's
not.
Steph Curry's age.
I think he's like 35. Couldn't be that. He's not that old because remember we got him when he was like 19.
Yeah.
He's
We may as well go
36.
Get Marty Collins, bro. Marty Collins is what, 35?
I would say get Raymond Felton, but that man is about
Bro,
120 pounds too
did you
far
really
gone.
just
I
say
saw Ray Felton recently, bro. Nah, Ray Felton.
He
ain't
look like
about
Kendrick
basketball, bro.
Perkins.
Only thing Ray Felton dunking now is nuggets. And some
Yeah.
sauce. He's not a hooper anymore.
Nah, he ain't. Nah.
He took that retirement to heart.
Bertans.
Yes.
Davis
Bertans is out there?
Bertans.
Yeah,
They're
he's
talking
out
about
there.
him getting bought
he?
out.
Oh, yeah, he should be expiring. So.
Why not?
But you know, Freezie, Tibbs will throw a conniption fit. The one time he doesn't box out. Oh, man.
But I'd rather be in
Davis
that
Bertans is
situation
gonna
than where
pull up
we
from
at
30
now.
feet and miss, and Tibbs is gonna melt
Oh.
into a pool of.
Just fury.
I saw Popovich. Davis Bertans pulled up from like 30 feet, and next thing you know, he was playing for the Washington Wizards.
They said I was like Detlef Shrimp.
Oh, that's a
man.
name. That's the low blow, coach. That was low blow. Deadlift Shrimp, that's my boy, man. And it's sad that Austin dunked on him, but it's okay.
That's who we really need.
Nobody, I'm telling you, nobody drafts like the Dallas Mavericks, bro. The Dallas Mavericks might have the greatest draft history ever.
Especially what they did with OKC, getting that cap space.
Yeah,
They know how to
draft
make
all
moves
NBA
that big.
players. That's what they do.
yeah.
They're
Man.
good
They
at
may
that.
not be all NBA when they're there, but they're gonna get there at some point. By hell or high water.
Coach, you know who the first pick, the first ever pick from the Dallas Mavericks is, right? Mark Aguirre.
Aguirre? Yeah, I was about to say
Aguirre.
Aguirre.
They drafted Mark Aguirre, Derek Harper, Rolando Blackman, Dale Ellis, Detlef Shrimp. I mean, bro.
James Donaldson.
Roy
Kurt
Toppling.
Thomas. Hey, how old's Kurt Thomas nowadays?
Kurt,
We could use Kurt.
Oh, Kurt, yes.
Crazy eyes.
yeah, Kurt Thomas got, yeah.
No one will let Kurt wouldn't let people be giving Jalen Brunson a business like that.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, pause. Give him the business.
He'll walk over and be like, you need to stay away from him.
Yo, all right, everybody. I gotta get out of here so I can get some rest so we can do some stuff
Okay.
in the morning. Thank y'all, everybody, for
Oh, New
rocking.
York,
Cowboy
New
Bob, you
York,
did a good
cool.
job. But you hogged the mic though. Coach was supposed to get some moderation in, man.
My fault. I
that's
didn't know how
cool.
much time we had left. That's my fault, coach. Coach, would you like to host the next show?
Not really. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, don't worry. There'll be plenty of times.
There'll be plenty
It'll
of
be
time.
long. I wouldn't want to moderate on that like tonight, boy. I was pissed.
I'm actually glad I didn't get all my takes on. So
I was salty and salty.
Yeah. Well, appreciate everybody.
I'm trying to become a
coming
rapper.
through. I'm gonna do another short tomorrow. We'll probably do the Big Boss Man Roundtable. I don't know why it's so hard to get people to do the shorts with me, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I'm down.
I must have the cooties or something. Yo, I'm on the Knicks injury list. I'm on it.
Oh, big.
Coach, I'm out 3 to 5 weeks with the cooties.
And we don't even know what the injury is. Unlisted injury.
You got the Jericho Sims.
Yeah, I got it.
Yo,
Yo,
listen,
I got. Was it Ricola? Ricola? Is that what it is? What do you have?
Oh no.
man, he had Ebola.
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 Yeah.
You think about Ricola.
Yeah,
No cap though.
that
Just to
man
give
had-
you guys a little tease, I record a little something. I'm waiting for Freezie. We're gonna be doing a world premiere.
a world premiere.
Yeah, I recorded a Knicks song.
Dope.
I really
Man,
did.
so we'll probably be doing that on the next morning drive.
It's
in
an
like
original.
6 hours.
I rapped and I sang the hook, made the background music and everything.
Wow.
For real. It's called We're the Knicks. We the Knicks.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Looking
So, all
forward
right,
to it.
everybody. So we're gonna get out of here. Thank y'all for rocking with us, man. We'll look to see y'all later on today. Peace.